He is a top-tier rich second generation with outstanding skills. He now calls himself Billy in front of me. You can imagine how dreadful my identity is. Upon thinking about this, Mia immediately started to stutter as she explained, I had no idea that Smokey knows you. Before she could finish her sentence, Billy angrily slammed the table and rebuked. How dare you call my friend Smokey a pervert? Do you know that Smokey is the elder brother of my eldest brother? His wealth could bury your ancestors for 20 generations. Upon hearing this, Mia widened her eyes. It turned out that brother Smokey was just pretending to be poor. I mistook him for a poor guy. At this thought, her face turned cold. No, I must make amends. Even if it means offering myself to him. Mia immediately put on a pitiful look. Smokey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just now. Can you forgive me, please? As soon as she finished speaking, the system immediately sent me a prompt, successfully binding Mia as the target for strategy. Seeing this situation, my eyes chilled. Finally bound. Let's see how I handle you. Then I picked up the teacup and took a sip. Forget it. You are young and don't understand. I was just teasing you. Upon hearing this, Mia immediately became excited. I knew that Smokey really likes me. At the same time, her affection for me continued to soar. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but sneer inwardly. As expected of the top female streamer with millions of fans. Money can make anything possible. Unfortunately, I won't let you off so easily. At this moment, Billy sitting beside suddenly slammed the table in anger. I, Smokey, have spent millions of votes on you. Yet you just invited him for a simple coffee. With that, he turned to me with a hospitable look. Smokey, as the saying goes, it's better to have chance encounters than planned meetings. Today, Billy is the host. I know a place with great flavors. Smokey, you must honor us with your presence. Upon hearing this, I naturally did not refuse. As the saying goes, if there's a meal, don't be a jerk. Later, Billy politely invited me into his car. Mia, who was beside us, of course, did not miss the opportunity to interact with me. She immediately wanted to come along as well. And then on the way to the restaurant. Although the back seat was so spacious, Mia insisted on squeezing next to me. Seeing me indifferent, Mia said with a grievance, Smokey, are you still mad at me? I know I was wrong. But I still ignored her and took out my phone to open the live streaming app, Smokey said absent-mindedly. Later, I arrived in the live stream room of a woman who looked like a perfect 10. Then I slowly opened my own gift backpack. Seeing this scene, Mia was shocked. Could it be that he is going to? But before she could think too much, I rubbed the rocket button on the backpack for a full 2.5 minutes. I only moved my fingers a few times. The female anchor with millions of fans completely captivated me. You know, it only took me 2 seconds to swipe the phone screen. I sent thousands of super rockets. And the speed of these tickets is enough to make any girl crazy about me. It turns out it was just now. I was trying to teach Mia a lesson. I started watching other female anchors in front of her. Not only that, I also sent over 5,000 rockets to the other person within 2 seconds. The female streamer on the other side was stunned on the spot when she saw this scene. As a newcomer streamer, she had never seen such a scene before. The amount of these gifts alone could buy her 10 houses in her hometown. The more the female streamer thought about it, the more excited she became. In the end, she actually fainted on the spot. Seeing this, her younger sister behind her hurriedly shouted, Quick, call 120. My sister has never seen so much money in her entire life. And at this moment, Mia, who was watching the scene, had almost rubbed the screen of her phone off with her fast tapping speed. And ordinary people wouldn't have this ability even if they had this speed. Mia regrets more as she thinks about it. If it weren't for her underestimating others in front of her, those thousands of rockets would be hers. And she is very clear in her heart. I only acted recklessly in front of her, just to tease her. But even so, what does it matter? After all, the speed at which I spend money is enough to drive her crazy for me. Mia became more and more excited. In the end, she even increased her affinity with me by a full 60 points. And as I looked at her silly and infatuated look, I was sweating profusely. Is this silly girl out of her mind? She can increase affinity even when I give gifts to others. Later, under Billy's lead, we arrived at the most famous private kitchen restaurant, Black Pearl. Then, Billy happily introduced, "Here is a membership reservation system. The privacy is also very good. Most importantly, this restaurant has 3 major selling points." Upon hearing this, I suddenly became interested too. In addition to delicious food and unique scenery, what other selling points are there here? Upon hearing this, Billy immediately started to flatter me. Smokey is indeed admirable. He quickly guessed the 2 selling points of this place. As for the third one, you will find out later. Soon we arrived at a pavilion. We saw a woman sitting on a stone bench, playing the zither. At this moment, Billy pointed to the woman and said, "Here's the third selling point. This is the boss's daughter, Cynthia." I, who witnessed this scene, was sweating profusely. How did Cynthia end up here? Just then, at this moment, Cynthia inside the pavilion happened to see me as well. She was about to greet me. But the next moment, her eyes suddenly widened. I saw a well-proportioned woman intimately linking arms with me. Seeing this scene, Cynthia's anger immediately exploded. She accidentally broke the guzheng in her hand in half. At the same time, her affinity towards me also decreased by 5 points. Cynthia, thinking about the past, tears welled up in her eyes. It turns out that this guy is no different from those wealthy playboys. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but feel that something was wrong. I was so close to successfully conquering Cynthia. How could things go south at such a crucial moment? With that in mind, I immediately chased after Cynthia's figure. After chasing for a full 2.5 minutes, I pinned her against a corner of the wall in the yard with one hand. And at this moment, Cynthia was already in tears and unable to speak. "You scoundrel! Why are you playing with my emotions? Let me go!" The campus belle was just reprimanding me the previous second, calling me a scoundrel who deceives people's feelings. But the next second, she lovingly hugged my waist, asking me to never leave her. Just because I told her I had reasons I couldn't be a scum. It just happened earlier. Cynthia saw me intimately embracing Mia. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but think it was not good. It seemed like she was about to successfully win her over. How could I mess up at such a critical moment? Immediately, I chased after her. I pressed her against a corner of a wall in the yard. I saw Cynthia's affinity towards me was about to vanish completely. I had to use my trump card. Then I affectionately said, "Cynthia, have you ever watched a movie?" But Cynthia didn't want to listen to my nonsense. Instead, she angrily rebuked me for cheating on her and deceiving her feelings. I lit a cigarette at the sight. You must have always been very puzzled. I obviously come from an extraordinary family background. But why have I always been content with ordinariness? In fact, the family I belong to is a reclusive family. And there is an unwritten rule within the family. That is, the family heir must spend 1 billion within 1 month after turning 18 in order to inherit the family's entire estate. For this, I can only spend money desperately after I turn 18. I invest in various projects as well as charitable causes. I have even been involved in activities to protect the environment of the Earth. That is, moving the South Pole to the North Pole. And that girl just now is one of the female anchors I support. In order to continue spending money, I'm just putting on a show. I grabbed Cynthia's hand as I spoke. No one else knows about this except for you. I don't expect forgiveness from you, just understanding. But this secret has weighed on my heart for too long. Now I am tired. Let it be. I turned around without looking back and left. And I watched my lonely figure. Cynthia immediately started strategizing. I really am being too unreasonable. He is already exhausted from trying to inherit the family fortune. But I indiscriminately suspect him without reason. Thinking of this, Cynthia hugged my waist full of self-blame. Charles, please don't go. Please don't leave me, okay? It's my fault for wrongly accusing you. Upon hearing this, I placed my palm on the back of Cynthia's hand. Finally, we have passed through the difficulty. And feeling the warmth coming from the palm, Cynthia had a blissful expression on her face. He can even be candid about family inheritance, a secret like that. Charles really does have me in his heart. With Cynthia's self-strategy, her affinity with me instantly increased to 92 points. After sorting out Cynthia, I immediately took her back to the inner courtyard. At this moment, Cynthia, with a face full of apology, held my hand and said to Billy and me, I lost my temper just now and affected everyone's meal. Charles's friends are my friends. Let me treat everyone to this meal. Upon hearing this, Billy's eyes lit up instantly. It only took a short 2.5 minutes to settle everything, truly living up to the name Smokey. On the other hand, Mia had a dark look on her face. How dare she compete with me for a man, acting like she's the main wife. It's not certain who will have the last laugh. Later, Mia took the initiative to launch an attack. Smokey, you haven't introduced us yet. Upon hearing this, Cynthia's face was full of disdain, calling Smokey, bro, so intimately. Auntie, didn't my husband Charles tell you his name? Besides, he shouldn't be older than you. Please stop talking about Smokey incessantly. The momentum that Cynthia is currently showing is like the legendary vermilion bird in the sky. And Mia in front of her can't even compare to a mere village hen. Billy, who was watching the scene, was sweating profusely. The strength of a Do-Zone powerhouse is indeed terrifying. This is clearly not a battle on the same level. One is a beautiful live streamer who is a wealthy tyrant harvester. One is a wealthy heiress worth over $1 billion. They are now jealous and fighting over a mere simp. It happened just now. The female streamer Mia made a move towards Cynthia in order to compete for my affections. The aura that Cynthia exuded was as majestic as the mysterious bird in the sky. Mia was completely breathless under the pressure. After all, she is the daughter of a wealthy family. And she is just a cute female live streamer who relies on acting cute. But even so, Mia has not given up. As a wealthy heiress harvester, she is still very confident that she can defeat me. They are about to have a showdown at the dining table. I tap the bowl with chopsticks. Enough. Stop arguing. I'm hungry. Let's eat. Upon hearing this, the two women immediately exchanged a glance. Then, neither of them looked at each other. And watching this scene, Billy was so excited that he was trembling all over. Even though it had come to this, they still didn't start fighting. Smokey's way of handling beautiful women is truly unpredictable. You know, Mia is a well-known big live streamer on the platform. She even holds the title of a wealthy heir reaper. The rich second-generation individuals she has reaped could circle the city twice. Cynthia is a well-known local talented woman, coupled with her identity as a wealthy family's daughter. Countless wealthy young men pursued her. While Smokey was just a small wave, he could easily take down the two women with a simple move. Such superb skill in charming women. He's like a modern version of a male demon seducer. I used to think Smokey was just wealthy. I didn't expect that I was being superficial. Smokey, from now on, you are my spiritual idol. Watching Billy dancing with excitement, I had a puzzled look on my face. What is this guy up to? I went back to school immediately. At this moment, I looked at the system panel with a worried expression on my face. Although my ex-girlfriends Sandra and Coco have been thoroughly conquered by me. But Cynthia's affinity for me has always been stuck at 91%. And the female anchor Mia's affinity for me is also stuck at 92% and no longer rising. Just as I was considering whether to step up my efforts to win over both of them, I suddenly found out that there is another target to conquer at the back of the system panel. When I clicked and took a look, isn't this Russell's girlfriend, that idiot? What surprises me is that her affinity with me was only 25, but in just a few days, it has risen to 76. Just when I was proud of my own charm. But then I heard a classmate next to me teasing, "Go quickly and watch the show. There's a pure love warrior confessing his love under the girls' dormitory building." Upon hearing this, I suddenly became interested. I can't believe there are still pure love warriors these days. Let this master of pure love see who you are. At the same time, the area below the girls' dormitory was already surrounded by people. In the center of the crowd was a heart shape made of candles. Russell was standing there with a golden hoop on his head, holding a bouquet of roses, saying affectionately, "Darling, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Let me believe in us. I shouldn't have been harsh and cold towards you. Remember the good times we had. Please give me another chance." On the side, the little brother played the guitar wildly to set the mood. Hannah, who saw this scene, was visibly enraged. After all, she had lost interest in Russell long ago, especially after witnessing my speed last time. At this moment, I squeezed my way into the crowd. "Hey, isn't that Russell guy? Playing so awkwardly. Is he acting in the role of the ex before this?" And seeing me appear in the crowd, Hannah's eyes lit up instantly. The fastest man in her mind finally appeared. The pure love warrior publicly asked his girlfriend to reconcile in front of all the teachers and students in the school. Thought his romantic confession could easily win her over. As a result, the girlfriend left him and ran into the crowd. "You called Charles, right? Finally, I met you today." She then took out her phone. "Can I add you as a friend?" It turned out it was just now. Upon hearing that a love warrior confessed in the girls' dormitory, I immediately rushed over to watch the show. But when I squeezed into the crowd, I found out. The so-called pure love warrior turned out to be Russell, who bullied me every day in high school. I never thought that the sports god I used to envy has now ended up becoming a simp. And at this moment, facing Russell's heartfelt confession, Hannah feels no touch at all. She is fed up with this guy's emotional abuse long ago. Just at this moment, Hannah suddenly noticed me, who was watching from the crowd. Immediately, she threw away the rose that Russell had given her. She ran straight towards the crowd. Upon seeing this scene, Russell immediately cried out in disbelief. "Where are you going? Please don't leave me. Give me another chance, okay?" But Hannah came up to me with an excited expression on her face and said, "Finally, I've met you, Charles." She then started muttering to herself, "Today is truly my lucky day. How wonderful." Hannah then showed her own cell phone. "Can I add you as a friend? I've been waiting for this day for a long time." Seeing this, the pure love warrior beside them collapsed in response. It was really too painful. At this moment, Russell has long been engulfed by anger. Why Charles? Why would he be interested in Charles, this simp? What's so good about him after all? Seeing his painful expression, a faint smile tugged at the corners of my mouth. I've experienced this scene too many times. After all, the former me was famous at school for being a pure love simp. But I didn't have the slightest sympathy for him. Then I came to Russell's front. You may not understand why she is so indecisive. You may feel very unwilling. Upon hearing this, Russell immediately rebuked, "Charles, what do you mean? Even if it is so, it's not your turn to humiliate me." Upon hearing this, I couldn't help but turn my head and sigh. "Russell, actually, I have always admired you before. I have always seen you as the target I am chasing. You are not only handsome, but also good at sports. You can easily capture the hearts of girls, while I can only rely on pleasing others. But now I am faster than you. You find yourself losing your original halo, no longer as dazzling as before. The desire to win makes you want to surpass me as soon as possible, but this also makes you neglect your girlfriend's feelings. Have you still not figured it out yet? Even without my presence, Hannah would still leave you. You pushed her away little by little. Now it has come to this. You are here pretending to be pitiful and seeking reconciliation. Don't you feel like a clown now? Upon hearing this, Russell finally realized his mistakes. He immediately burst into tears, holding his head. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Seeing this scene, the onlookers began to discuss. So it wasn't a love triangle after all. This guy looks imposing. Turns out he's just a guy who's good at using emotional manipulation. Upon hearing my words, Hannah stood still in surprise. Then she looked at me tenderly, saying, Charles really understands me. At the same time, her affinity towards me has increased to 91. And this scene happened to be seen by Joan in the crowd. Charles is actually flirting with someone else again. I must go back and tell Cynthia. Thinking of this, Joan immediately left the crowd in anger. Soon she arrived at another building of the girls' dormitory. Joan kicked open the dormitory door. Oh no! That guy Charles is cheating again. The man is clearly trying to have it both ways. Yet he is still admired by all the girls in the school. Even the school's beauty queen girlfriend says the man is not wrong. What's wrong is his charm that has no place to be put. It turns out it was just now. Joan saw Hannah giving me meaningful glances. She immediately went back to the dorm and complained to Cynthia. Cynthia. Just now, a girl downstairs confessed her love to Charles. They were flirting with each other. Cynthia, however, calmly removed the mask from her face. Stop joking around. But it's definitely not Charles. Furthermore, someone else is going to confess. This is not something Charles can control. And it doesn't mean Charles is cheating, right? Upon hearing this, Joan angrily took out her phone and said loudly, Then how do you explain this hot search topic? He actually gave over 30 million to other women in the live broadcast room. But looking at the hot search, Cynthia seemed indifferent. Oh, this? Charles had already told me about it. And the amount he spent was more than 30 million, you know? Cynthia said as she patted Joan's head. The foundation of their relationship is trust. If Charles can proactively tell me about these things, then I naturally should believe in him. You are a forever single person who has never felt this kind of feeling. Upon hearing these words, Joan stood dumbfounded with a gloomy expression. How could such a gorgeous woman become so silly? Charles, what kind of love potion did you give to Cynthia? On the other side, I yawned out of boredom while playing murder mystery games. My roommate Ben immediately shouted at me when he saw me like this. Charles, can't you focus a little? Who falls asleep playing a murder mystery game? But before he could finish, the two female classmates across from us immediately scolded. Ben, why are you so loud? You'll scare Charles. We just like watching Charles sleep. Upon hearing this, Ben gnashed his teeth in anger. He was truly irritated to the extreme. At this moment, I pointed ahead and said, I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was you who insisted on bringing me here. But please explain to me why she is here. Sandra was in tears, fully immersing herself in the role. It's my own fault. I shouldn't have abandoned my childhood sweetheart, leading to his murder. I deserve the blame. There's no need for you to look for any suspect. It's me. Seeing Sandra like this, Ben awkwardly said, She came here because she heard you were here. But she seems to have recently developed depression and has been seeing a doctor for it. Upon hearing this, I had a pensive look on my face. Could it be that I went too far in what I did? Although Sandra hurt me before, it seems that she has genuinely repented after we bonded. Looking at Sandra's tearful appearance, my heart softened immediately. Although she is at fault, it doesn't warrant death. Am I being too cruel to her? Just as I was lost in thought, the voices of several girls interrupted me. Charles, are the rumors going around school true that you are the wealthy online celebrity Smokey? Upon hearing this, Sandra, who was beside me, immediately perked up her ears. She was also eager to figure out my true identity. I then rubbed my chin. I could be, or I could not be. Just then, a mocking laughter rang out behind us. If Charles is that uber-rich guy Smokey, I swear I'll kick my head down to him as a ball. A green-haired man, puffing on a cigar, disdainfully said, Smokey is on a different level. He's a billionaire who has spent a whole billion on the platform. Just a poor student like you dares to challenge Smokey. Upon hearing this, my face darkened. How did this guy also end up here? At this point, the green-haired man approached Sandra. Hello, classmate. My name is Terry, the owner of this script shop. I have noticed you for a long time. Can I add you as a friend? Upon hearing this, Sandra's face blushed slightly. However, her inner thought was, will this scene make that guy Charles jealous? The ex-girlfriend who was crying and begging for reconciliation just a second ago. The next second, she accepted the pursuit of another man in front of me. Just because the man is a multi-millionaire diamond second generation. I'm just a newly rich millionaire whose family has just been demolished. It turns out that just a moment ago, a few female classmates were discussing whether I was the legendary wealthy man Smokey. Suddenly, a green-haired man jumped out and mocked. How dare a poor guy try to deceive Smokey? Then he started pursuing Sandra in front of me. Seeing this, my face darkened. Terry is one of my romantic rivals from high school. He often relies on his wealthy and influential family to bully me at school. Knowing that Sandra is my ex-girlfriend now, she provocatively challenges me in front of my face. In response, I just sneer inwardly. If you want to act all high and mighty, then I will just play along. It's a good opportunity for me to not be too flashy in front of my classmates. I will also give Sandra a temptation test. Let's see if she truly repents. Thinking of this, I walked up to the green-haired man and introduced. This rich guy is Terry, my high school classmate. He is currently studying at 911 University and has even started his own company. His assets have reached the tens of millions level. You can say he is a solid diamond to your second generation rich. Upon hearing this, everyone looked shocked. To have amassed such wealth at such a young age is truly impressive. Then I shrugged. As for me, my family recently received compensation of several million due to our house being demolished. I'm definitely not the wealthy tycoon you all are imagining, Smokey. Upon hearing this, Sandra looked incredulous. Charles, this guy isn't Smokey after all. Does that mean I've been trying to please him in vain? Thinking about this, Sandra immediately compared me with Terry in her mind. One is a multi-millionaire academic genius. The other is Charles, who has some money and seems to like me. Does she still need to make a choice? After thinking it through, Sandra's affinity towards me instantly decreased dramatically. In the end, she actually ended the simp relationship with me. Then, she took out her phone and added Terry as a friend. At this moment, Sandra looks very pleased. It's really like losing sesame seeds and picking up watermelons. This time, she can cozy up to another top-notch wealthy man. At that moment, Terry walked up to me and taunted. Charles, isn't the world strange? Your ex-girlfriend clearly wants to add me as a friend right in front of you. It's really funny. Then he leaned in close to my ear and whispered, in the past, hitting you was like hitting a dog. Now, in front of me, you're not even as good as a dog. After saying that, he patted the employee next to him. This Charles is my old classmate. He made me very happy today. Their table will have their bill waived. Upon hearing this, I couldn't help but lower my head and laugh loudly. It was not because of Terry's sarcasm, but because I finally understood something. Ben, who was next to me, looked at me in this state with a worried expression. After all, anyone would feel uneasy when encountering such a situation. At this moment, I lifted my head and waved my hand. I just suddenly remembered some funny things. Then I smirked. Simp really deserves to die. I actually thought I was too heartless. I have already given you the opportunity you wanted. I didn't expect you to still be unable to change your bad habits. From now on, if I, Charles, show any mercy towards you, then I am a dog. And you are not worthy. Thinking of this, I was about to turn around and leave. But I was stopped by Terry behind me. Getting angry now. There's a high school classmates gathering tomorrow. Charles, do you dare to come? I naturally know this guy's intention. Nothing but wanting to embarrass me in front of old classmates again. Faced with such a good opportunity, naturally I have to give him a chance. Then I turned my head and coldly smiled. Since you are so sincerely inviting me, then I'll just have to accept your invitation. Here comes the school's white moonlight, finally appeared. But when we met, she took the initiative to ask for my contact information. This scene shocked all the high school classmates at the gathering. How could a goddess possibly be interested in a simp? At this moment, inside the private room 888 of the Jojo Hotel, Terry looks smug. Many old classmates are boasting. Today everyone must eat and drink well. I will foot the bill for all expenses. Money is meant to be spent. Please don't try to save money for me. Upon hearing this, several classmates immediately started flattering. When Anna arrives later, the brothers will surely speak highly of you. After all, you two are a perfect match in talent and appearance. It would be a shame if you didn't get together. Listening to them praise me nonsensically, I inwardly sneered. Terry, this guy, really doesn't miss any opportunity to show off. Just then, the door of the private room was pushed open by someone. Just then, a beautiful woman dressed in gorgeous attire walked in. This person was indeed the stunning Anna that the classmates had just mentioned, and following behind her was Judith, who had recently betrayed her good friends. Anna apologetically ran her fingers through her hair, expressing her regret for keeping everyone waiting. The driver from her house took a day off today, so she arrived a bit late after taking a taxi. Looking at Anna's exquisite face, I was instantly mesmerized. As my moonlight, Anna illuminated my entire high school life. She was so noble and mysterious, like a fairy who walked out of an ancient legend. She is like an unsolvable equation, making all the boys in the school go crazy for her. She used to be something that I could only hope for but not seek. Now that she's in my hands, I will definitely control her. Thinking of this, I immediately took out my phone and walked up to Anna. It's been a long time since we last met. Can I add you as a friend for easier contact in the future? Anna did not refuse. She was very popular in school back then, with not just 800, but even 1,000 guys liking her. For a moment, she couldn't remember who I was exactly. With Anna's agreement, the system immediately sent me a prompt. Anna's current affinity is 0. After a successful comeback, I will receive 35 attribute points and be rewarded with proficiency in English, French, Russian, and Korean languages. Upon seeing this scene, Terry's veins popped out in anger. What an audacious toad wanting to eat swan meat. I will make you die without even knowing how you died in a moment. And other classmates also looked surprised. In their impression, although I was a bit handsome, I wasn't as fierce-looking as now. Have I become so impressive after a few years of not seeing each other? Upon hearing this, Judith on the side sarcastically commented in a strange manner. Impressive? Are you acting tough for those second-generation rich kids as their lackey? Then she pointed at me and shouted loudly, Charles, don't think I don't know what you're up to. You're hanging out with Walter and some second-generation rich kids as their lackey. Those second-generation rich kids are all notorious playboys. Are you trying to get Anna's contact details to sell to them? Upon hearing this, Walter immediately rebuked, Judith, what nonsense are you talking about? You can eat anything you want, but you can't just say anything. To everyone's surprise, Judith pretended on the spot. How could I be talking nonsense? Walter, after emotionally breaking up with me like a cliff, now you are seamlessly connecting back. Are you even a real man anymore? She wiped her eyes fakely as she spoke. Because of you, this scumbag, I am depressed now. Upon hearing this, Anna on the side immediately showed a disapproving look towards us. At the same time, my affinity dropped by 10 points. At this moment, Terry also added fuel to the fire on the side, saying, "Charles, if you need money, I can introduce you to a job. But doing errands for those scumbag rich second-generation guys without a conscience is going too far." Listening to the two of them singing in harmony, my heart was sneering endlessly. Judith took the lead in defaming and slandering, while Terry mocked and assisted. It seems like they had planned this out in advance. If it were someone else, they would truly have no way to refute. It's just unfortunate that you encountered me. This time you brought your own faces to my feet. I immediately took out my phone and sent a message to Harold. "Drive my Lamborghini to the Kyushu Hotel." The rich second generation treated the whole class to a meal. But his purpose was to embarrass Simp in front of his classmates. He thought that he could show off in front of the goddess this way. The goddess didn't play by the rules, though. Not only did she not accept his date invitation. Instead, she sat in the shotgun seat of the poor guy's car. It turned out it was just a moment ago, facing the combination of Terry and Judith. I was not flustered at all. Instead, I quietly took out my own phone and started to shake it at them. As the dinner came to an end, everyone got up and prepared to leave the hotel. And the classmates' boasting about Terry has not stopped. Indeed, money can support a person. You are really generous now. Unlike some people who can only act as lackeys for the second-generation rich. Listening to the praises from the classmates, Terry is also looking pleased. Now Charles and Walter, the two black sheep, have lost face. Tonight is simply a complete victory. He then walked confidently to Anna. "Anna, do you need me to take you home? Tonight, I am your dedicated driver. The passenger seat is always yours." Anna, however, directly waved her hand to refuse. She had encountered many pursuers before, but this oily one was the first she had seen. At that moment, a security guard from the door approached behind Terry. "Sir, you made it hard for me to find you. Could you please move your car?" Upon hearing this, Terry immediately got angry. "I've spent so much at your hotel, and now you won't even let me park? This is outrageous." Seeing this, the security guard quickly explained, "Sir, the parking spaces at our hotel are reserved for VIP guests after 9 p.m. We have a VIP guest arriving shortly, so we would like to ask for your understanding and cooperation." Upon hearing this, Terry looked disdainful. "VIP guest, huh? I'd like to see who this so-called VIP guest is." Later, Terry arrived at the parking spot and drove his Mercedes out. Then he leisurely parked on the side, waiting for the so-called VIP guest. He wanted to see who had such a strong presence. But the next second, a brand new Ferrari LaFerrari parked in the same spot. Seeing this scene, Terry was shocked. He had only seen this Ferrari LaFerrari at car shows. Just this one car alone far surpassed his net worth. And the person who got out of the car shocked him even more. It turned out to be Harold, the young master of the Zhang group. Seeing this, Terry broke out in a cold sweat. Luckily, he didn't confront Harold. Although he was also a second-generation wealthy, compared to this top-tier second-generation wealthy like Harold, he couldn't even compare to his nose hair. At this moment, Harold came running over with a smile on his face, shaking hands with me. "Smokey hasn't been seen for several days. How have you been lately?" Upon hearing this, I chuckled and patted his shoulder. "It's a bit of trouble for you to bring the car all the way to me this time." Harold quickly responded, "Brother, there's no need to be so polite. Moreover, it's my pleasure to bring the car for Smokey." Terry, who overheard this nearby, was so shocked that he could swallow a basketball. "I didn't hear wrong, did I? That car actually belongs to Charles. And Harold is being so polite to him." The classmates who saw this scene also started gossiping. "Charles is actually so wealthy. He could buy dozens of Terry's Mercedes with that Ferrari." Then several people looked at Judith. "Weren't you just saying that Charles is a wealthy second generation who is just a lackey for him? But now it seems like the wealthy second generation is more like Charles's lackey." Upon hearing this, Judith stammered, unable to respond at all. Seeing this situation, Anna on the side also caught on. It seems that Terry and Judith were just slandering Charles. And watching Terry acting like a flatterer, just like a pug towards Harold and me. Anna also showed a hint of interest in me. Although she is wealthy, she didn't bother to defend herself at all. This Charles is quite interesting, though. At the same time, her affinity towards me has also increased to 10 points. I smirked as I felt this information. Finally took the bait. Then I came to Anna's side. Classmate, may I have the honor of taking you home? Upon hearing this, Anna extended her hand in response. Sure. Later, Anna sat in the passenger seat next to me. We gradually drove away as our classmates envied us with their eyes. Seeing this situation, Walter immediately started to make sarcastic remarks. Terry, this person is better than someone and annoys people to death. This person is better than a dog and annoys dogs to death. The moonlight in the hearts of all the boys in the school in the past. But now it has come to the point where blind dates are needed. To revive the bankrupt company that my father is facing. Anna had to marry into the wealthy family and become the playboy's mistress. In the eyes of others, she is an unattainable ice-cold goddess. However, in reality, she is a tool for an arranged marriage who cannot even control her own happiness. At this moment, in the brightly lit and bustling city, a bright red Ferrari stands out conspicuously. Anna, sitting in the passenger seat, was starting to regret getting into my car. After all, she wasn't familiar with me. If I did something inappropriate, what should she do? At this moment, I smiled. Don't treat me like a dirty old man. I just simply want to give you a ride home. As I spoke, I glanced at the pendant on her bag. This one is Ultraman, right? Anna looked surprised. You actually know about this? I smiled. Nowadays, which boy wouldn't like Ultraman, especially Tiga? I think he looks particularly handsome when he transforms. Upon hearing this, Anna immediately chimed in, saying, Yes, yes, yes. I also really like him. It's a pity that none of the girls around me enjoy watching this. As the conversation about their shared interests unfolded, Anna, who had been somewhat guarded towards me, now revealed a naive side of herself. After seeing me staring at her, Anna immediately pouted. Perhaps she also sensed her childish side. But the next second, she happily smiled again. I smiled slightly as I watched this scene. I didn't expect Anna to have such an innocent and lively side. It seems that her usual cold appearance is just a defense mechanism. And looking at her happy expression, I couldn't help but have an impulse to protect the beauty. Moonlight is indeed moonlight. Even though I haven't seen it for so many years, it still brings out a feeling of wanting to fall in love within me. As time passed, I drove to the community where Anna is located. Then I made a dynamic hand gesture. I'm really happy to see a different side of you tonight. Seeing that, Anna immediately made the same gesture in response. Just call me Anna. Thank you for taking me back. I'm also very happy. Looking at each other's childish side, we both stood frozen in place. Then we smiled at each other again. Perhaps it is by showing our vulnerable sides that we can more easily enter each other's hearts. And as she watched my departing figure, Anna muttered, This Charles is indeed different from those sleazy guys. He doesn't even think I'm childish. And this brief happiness was quickly interrupted by Anna's mother's scolding. Didn't I say not to wander around these days? Why did you come back so late? Then she continued expressionlessly, About the blind date I mentioned last time, have you considered it? You also know that your father's company is not in a great situation right now. The investment from the Han Group this time is very important. We have no other choice. Upon hearing this, Anna's eyes filled with tears instantly. But is my happiness not important? Why should I marry that playboy from the Han Group? But Anna's mother pointed at her and scolded. Just because we raised you from a young age, providing everything you eat and wear. If your father's company were to go bankrupt, our whole family would collapse. It seems to realize that its tone is too harsh. Anna's mother said gently again, Would you please agree when Mom kneels down to beg you? George from Han Group may be fickle, but once this man gets married, he will settle down. As tears rolled down her cheeks, Anna knew that saying more would be futile. She could only respond expressionlessly. I understand. And the tears fell just right on Ultraman. It seemed to foreshadow the innocence that she would also die completely at this moment. The white moonlight that I have liked for 10 years. Suddenly, it has to become someone else's mistress. But I am very happy. Just because she needs money. And what I have the most of is exactly that. It turns out that Anna's father's company is on the verge of bankruptcy. Only by getting an investment from Han Group can it be revived. Under helplessness, Anna had to sacrifice her own happiness and become a tool for the family's arranged marriage. At this time in the group chat, various big spenders are flaunting their wealth, and there are discussions about female streamers. Just then, Harold suddenly mentioned everyone in the group chat. Everyone, come and get ready for some shocking news. Upon seeing the message, I instantly became interested. I'm also quite curious about their wealthy circle. What kind of news would be considered truly shocking among them? Soon, a headline news was posted in the group by Harold. Blind date or engagement. Shao Group's financial chain suspected to be broken. Heiress Anna may marry into Han Group. After seeing the news, I couldn't even hold the bun steady. What's going on? My white moonlight is actually going to become someone else's woman because of money. I thought of Anna's innocent and lively appearance yesterday. I really dare not think about the once untouchable goddess, who is about to become a tool of profit, remembering bits and pieces of the past. Without Anna's presence, my entire high school years would have been dull and dim. And I am no longer the same insecure teenager. Isn't it because of money? I have plenty of it. Thinking of this, my gaze gradually became more determined. This time, I will not be timid anymore. I will no longer continue to be a passerby in your life. Thinking of this, I immediately decided to use my own abilities. I am ready to go and rescue my moonlight. But just then, a woman reached out her hand and blocked my path. This student. You're Charles, right? Your image and temperament have a lot of potential. Have you ever considered becoming an internet celebrity? She then handed me a business card. My name is Teresa. Are you interested in joining our company? We will definitely do our best to help you become a top internet celebrity. But I haven't even looked at the business card before rejecting. Don't block my path. I have very important things to do. Upon hearing this, Teresa looked surprised. These days, there are actually young people who don't want to make money. Could it be that they have already signed with another company? It seems I need to show off some skills in poaching talent. Immediately, Teresa chirped behind me. Hey, classmate, you can consider it. Our company is not only strong but also offers very generous salaries to newcomers. The most important thing is that the company also has many pretty young ladies. But I can't pay attention to what she's saying. At the moment, I just want to save my white moonlight as soon as possible. I remained indifferent when I saw her. Teresa immediately stood in front of me. What's more important is our company. Smokey, the rich tycoon, is backing us up. You must have heard of his great name, right? Don't you want to create brilliance together with Smokey? Then she said with a sinister face, If you don't sign with us, be careful of being blacklisted by Smokey. Upon hearing this, I was directly enraged. I am the Smokey you mentioned, threatening me with my own name. Are you stupid? I immediately took out my phone and started operating it. I posted everything that just happened in detail in the group. Upon seeing the message, everyone immediately expressed their desire to make this woman and the company disappear. But just then, the bald man nervously jumped out and said, Wait, Smokey, hold on. Is there a misunderstanding in all of this? 2.5 seconds later, Teresa's phone suddenly rang. Seeing the caller ID, Teresa looked shocked as well. How could the boss be calling at this moment? But as soon as she answered the call, a hysterical roar from a bald man came through. You crazy woman! Do you even know who you're dealing with? Hurry back to me within 5 minutes. Upon hearing this, Teresa was so frightened that she broke out in a cold sweat. Who exactly is this young person that can make the boss come in person? I was too lazy to listen to their nonsense, and continued to sprint towards the school gate. Han Group dares to compete with me for a woman. Then I'll have to show you a little something. It's over. Smokey's first love is going to be sold to a fool. Just now, Anna, who just returned home from a class reunion. She was immediately forced by her mother to go on a blind date. She thought it would just be a simple formality. But when she saw the property agreement on the table, her mood instantly hit rock bottom. I didn't expect her father, who usually showered her with love, would actually sell her to the foolish son of the landlord. At this moment, under her parents' arrangement, Anna boarded the car heading to the blind date hotel. To soothe Anna's emotions, Anna's mother certainly spared no effort. Anna, this time it's just going through the motions. Don't take it too seriously. Our group's funding chain has been broken. Your father is asking everywhere, even his hair turning white. This time Uncle Han is willing to contribute to help us. Just consider it as helping your father. Besides, George is quite honest. Just treat it as making a friend. Just at that moment, Anna's phone vibrated. When she saw that I asked her where she was, Anna was momentarily puzzled. Why did this guy Charles ask that? However, she did not think too much about it. Instead, she mentioned that she had something arranged at home and needed to go to the hotel. And when she saw me ask her to wait for me, Anna couldn't help but feel a bit surprised. Does Charles know that I am going on a blind date? Thinking of the scene when I escorted her home that day, Anna's face instantly showed a blush of embarrassment. She would rather be with Charles, who understands her childishness, than that nauseating playboy George. As Anna was lost in thought, her father in the driver's seat spoke up. Anna, I have never asked you for anything before. This time, can you do me a favor? Upon hearing this, Anna looked puzzled. Isn't it just a blind date? Is it necessary to be so serious? However, she didn't say much, just quietly bowed her head and agreed to her father's request. Before long, the family of 3 arrived at the entrance of the hotel. The chairman of the Han Group and his assistant had been waiting here for quite some time. After seeing Anna and her family, the assistant hurried forward to lead the way. Hello. Han is waiting for you in meeting room 305. Let me take you there right away. Anna remained silent all the way. She really didn't want to see that guy George. While the assistant leading the way ahead had a greedy look on his face. He had heard of Anna's natural beauty long ago. Seeing is believing. She truly was stunning and incomparable. Unfortunately, you are soon to become the meat in the mouth of my young master at home. At that moment, Anna noticed the briefcase in her father's hand. Isn't it just to come over for a visit? Why did Dad bring so many documents over on purpose? Before she could think too much, the assistant had already pushed open the door to the meeting room. Please come in. Han in the meeting room saw a few people arrive and immediately started being polite. You're finally here. George, please make tea for your uncle. From now on, we are family. At that moment, George looked at Anna, who had already drooled all over the floor. Just then, Anna suddenly looked bewildered. I saw that the table in the conference room was filled with various marital agreements and share transfer contracts. Anna instantly sensed that something was wrong. This is definitely not just a blind date. Dad, what exactly are you up to? A man is selling his daughter for $1 billion. He even asks her to give birth to a big and fat son for the other party. Because only this way can he successfully get the $1 billion capital. The daughter, upon hearing this, looked incredulous. She had thought it was just an ordinary blind date. But little did she expect her loving and doting father would want to sell her off. At the thought of this, Anna immediately stated that she would rather die than marry a playboy. But what she got in return was her father's ruthless iron fist. It turns out that just now, Anna was placed at home according to arrangements. She came to meet the young master of the Han group for a blind date. She originally thought it was just a formality. Upon seeing various marriage agreements and share transfer contracts, she immediately realized that this was not as simple as just a blind date. At this moment, Han, the head of the Han group, couldn't help but look at Anna with satisfaction, realizing she has indeed grown into a graceful young lady. Anna smiled as she interacted with Han. She sent me the address of the meeting room while interacting with Han. I want to know. Han Group is one of the famous giant conglomerates. It has a wide range of industries under its umbrella. Even many great businesses are involved. Han is famously cunning and crafty. In his eyes, only profit matters. Now my father's company is on the brink of bankruptcy. Han will definitely not help just because of a simple relationship. He only cares about profit. There must be some kind of business deal involved in this. Don't wait for Anna to think too much. George next to her eagerly grabbed her jade hand.
Anna, you're finally here. I haven't been able to eat or sleep ever since I last saw you. I even dream about you every night. Don't worry, my dad will definitely help your family get through this difficult situation.
Anna suppressed her disgust and pulled her hand away.
Thank Uncle Hannen.
Upon hearing this, George's face looked sleazy as he said,
Anna, there's no need to be so polite. From now on, we are family.
He then reached out his salty pig hand and forcefully grabbed Anna's body. Seeing this, Anna immediately slapped away George's salty pig hand. Then she angrily scolded,
Please show some respect. We are not family. Remove your claws now.
Seeing this situation, Anna's father on the side scolded Anna.
How can you talk to George like that? You're not allowed to be so disrespectful in the future.
After speaking, he looked apologetically at the side where Han was standing.
Han, my little girl doesn't know any better. Please don't take it to heart. I think they make a good match. If there's nothing else, let's take a seat and review the contract.
Anna's father's words made Anna's face full of anger. She didn't expect her father, who usually doted on her so much, to speak like that in front of strangers now. At this time, the assistant walked to the middle of the group and said slowly,
These are the share transfer agreements and some additional clauses. Let me introduce them to you now.
According to the agreement, Han Group will invest 1 billion to purchase 20% of Shao Group's shares. However, the condition is that Anna must marry our young master George. Moreover, this fund will be injected into Shao Group's corporate account in installments until Anna gives birth to a grandson for Han Group. Upon hearing these words, Anna was stunned on the spot. At this moment, she realized that this was not a blind date at all, but a transaction for interests. Then she snatched the prenuptial agreement on the table. Looking at all the unreasonable clauses on it, Anna was shaking with anger. She never expected her father to sell her out like this. Then she looked at her father with anger all over her face. Did you deceive me into coming here just for this 1 billion? Is this how you sell me off? Seeing Anna about to break down emotionally, Anna's mother on the side hurried to comfort her. Dad had no choice. You wouldn't want to see us, as a family, end up homeless on the streets? At this moment, Anna was already in tears. I don't understand. It's clearly because your business failed. Why should it have to affect my life? Don't you know how despicable George is? He indulges in eating, drinking, and gambling. Even if I die, I will not marry such a person. But her words brought about her father's ruthless iron hand. Until this moment Anna understood. In her father's eyes, she was just a sacrifice that could be discarded at any time for profit. She appears to be a glamorous, wealthy young lady on the surface. In reality, she is just a tool her father uses to make money. In order to solve the issue of the company's financial chain breaking, her father actually sold her to the foolish son of a landlord for a price of 1 million. Mother made her sign the deed of sale in order to make her sign the deed of sale. She even knelt on the ground and begged her desperately for 2.5 hours. Anna, who saw this scene, felt like her heart turned to ashes. She thought that her life had come to an end just like that. But the next second, the door to the meeting room was kicked open with a bang. I object to this marriage proposal. Which brat dares to snatch my woman? Get out of here now. It turns out it was just now. Anna found out she was going to be sold. Why sacrifice oneself for the company's benefit? But the result is Anna's father's merciless iron fist. It seems that I have been spoiling you too much. Now our family is at a critical juncture of life and death. Yet, you are still thinking about your own happiness. How could I have raised such an unreasonable and disobedient child like you? Anna's father's words made Anna stunned for a moment. Is your life just life? Isn't mine? At this moment, Anna's mother leaned over and kindly persuaded.
Anna, you need to understand your father. He is doing this for the sake of our family. If Shao Group is destroyed under his leadership, how can he face our ancestors?
But Anna replied angrily,
How can you say that? If the company is in trouble, let's work together to bring it back on track.
But before she could finish speaking, Anna's mother suddenly knelt down with a thud. Mom knelt down and begged you. Could you please show some mercy to Mom? Anna's father and several others were all surprised to see the scene. Is this woman really serious? While Anna beside her looked incredulous. She didn't expect her mother to actually kneel down in order to get her to agree. She immediately wanted to help Anna's mother up. However, Anna's mother refused to stand up, indicating that if the marriage proposal was not agreed upon, she wouldn't get up from her kneeling position. Upon hearing this, Anna's face was filled with despair. Was there really no other choice? At this moment, George raised his hand and swore.
Anna, I swear I will love you wholeheartedly. Even if you want the sun from the sky, I will pick it for you. And is even begging you on her knees. Please agree to her request.
And George's words felt like the final straw that broke the camel's back. Is this my fate? If only there were ifs. I would rather be born into an ordinary family. Just the thought of living like a canary in a cage in the future makes me feel helpless. Then she said, with a lifeless look in her eyes,
I understand now. Please get up quickly. Whatever you say in the future will be the final decision.
Upon hearing this, Anna's mother happily jumped up. This is my good daughter. Anna's father on the side also quickly echoed.
What I said just now was just out of anger. Don't take it to heart.
At this moment, Han lit a cigarette since Anna did not have any objections. Let's continue signing the contract then. This way, George can also marry Anna sooner. And your funds can also be deposited earlier, right? Upon hearing this, Anna's father hurriedly nodded and bowed. Yes, yes, yes. I will bring out the contract right away. And on the side, George looked at Anna. He had already drooled several pounds in anticipation, thinking about Anna's graceful figure. He was eager to go straight to the bridal chamber and have dozens of chubby sons with her. After quickly verifying the contract without objections, both parties proceeded to sign the contract. Anna stood silently by, welcoming her tragic fate. Just then, the door of the meeting room was kicked open with a crash. I oppose this marriage. Which little brat dares to steal my woman? Get out of here quickly. Here it comes. Smokey finally took action at a critical moment. He not only beat up the lecherous George, he also publicly tore up the contract of selling White Moonlight. Han, who witnessed the scene, was furious. He immediately ordered the bodyguard to give me a good lesson. But my next word shocked everyone present. I am willing to invest $5 billion to buy Anna. It was just happening right now. Several people were ready to sign the contract. My sudden appearance interrupted them. Who dares to undermine my position? Which audacious person has the courage to do so? Quickly get out of here. I heard such words. Anna's originally dim and lifeless eyes suddenly lit up. It's Charles. He really came. And George on the side was already furious. Where did this ignorant little kid come from? How dare he come and disturb my good things? Get lost. But as soon as he finished speaking, I punched him hard in the face. This blow not only knocked out one of his front teeth, his whole body was also knocked several meters away by me. Then I blew on my fist, looking like a pig's head, but still dared to bounce around in front of me. Get lost. Seeing that he was no match for me, George immediately shouted,
"Kill him for me!"
Upon hearing this, 2 bodyguards immediately rushed forward. How dare you even dare to hit the young Master Han? Do you not want to live anymore? Do you know the identities of the people present? You're really tired of living, kid. I sneered coldly. You're not even worthy to talk to me about identity. Aren't you just a couple of old men selling your daughters for marriage? Dare to touch me, and I'll make the Han group disappear. Han was shocked at the words and immediately stopped the 2 bodyguards, who were about to take action. You should know that this transaction is extremely secretive. To outsiders, this may seem like just a regular blind date, but this kid knows about it so well. Later, Han came to me. May I ask, young man, which family's son are you? I will definitely pay a visit another day. I just sneered. You don't have the qualification to know that yet. Upon hearing this, the pig-headed George shouted from the side,
"Such a big attitude!"
But before he could finish his sentence, Han scolded,
"How did I teach you? Think before you act. First see what trick he's up to."
And at that moment, I approached Anna with a tender expression on my face.
"No need to be afraid. I'm here. I will definitely help solve the difficulties in your family."
Upon hearing this, Anna's eyes were filled with touched. Why is this man, whom she had only met once, being so kind to her? At this moment, I walked over to Anna's father and picked up the contract on the table to take a look. Then I turned my head to Anna's father and said,
"Are you underestimating your own daughter too much? Selling her for $1 billion and also giving away 20% of the company's shares. Are you out of your mind?"
After saying that, I tore the contract to shreds in front of everyone. How about this? I offer $5 billion to buy your family's group, acquiring 60% of the shares. The people present were stunned immediately. $5 billion is already enough to buy the whole group. And at this moment, Han's heart was already in turmoil. You know, being able to casually take out $5 billion in cash. At least behind this, there must be a large group with assets exceeding $100 billion. I, Han, have seen through countless people. But now I can't see through this kid's tricks. And Anna's father next to him was so excited that he almost offered himself. This $5 billion not only can help him make a comeback, it can even help expand the company's territory. While Anna's father was excited, I also made my own request. Of course, this money is not going to be given to you for free. In addition to shares, I have one more additional requirement. At this, I pointed to Anna, who was still lost in thought beside us. Seeing this, Anna's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Charles wants to buy me for $5 billion? Conquered. The beautiful moonlight that I've liked for 10 years has finally been conquered by me. Not only did I tear up her contract in front of her, I also invested another $5 billion to buy her out. But when Anna heard this, she staggered and collapsed on the ground. I thought I would be the light appearing in her life. I ended up being like Han Group, treating her as a commodity that can be bought and sold at will. Just thinking about this, Anna couldn't stop her tears from falling. But just when she was desperate, my words dispelled all her worries. My condition is that 60% of the shares must be transferred to Anna's name. As long as the share transfer is completed, my $5 billion will be credited immediately. Hope reignited in Anna's eyes. My gentle words were like a key unlocking her prison. She could finally leave the iron cage that had trapped her. She can fly to that carefree world, no longer being a pawn in anyone's hands. Thinking of this, Anna's tears flowed uncontrollably again. There is really light in this world. Charles, he is my hero. At the same time, Anna's affinity towards me is also increasing rapidly. In no time, the affinity rose to 85 points. I am just 10 points away from completely conquering her. At this moment, an assistant walked over holding a newly drafted contract. Please take a look at the new contract and let me know if there are any issues. If everything is fine, we can go ahead and sign it. I reached out and grabbed Anna's hand. Anna, you can sign this contract. From now on, no one else will be able to control your life. As Anna signed her name on the contract, my 5 billion also immediately arrived in their account. Anna's mother, who saw this scene, was so excited that she couldn't close her mouth. The account really received 5 billion yuan. Upon hearing this, Anna's father trembled as he approached me unsteadily. Do you really have no other requests? I gave a cold laugh. Of course. However, the rise and fall of your family is at my whim. If you ever force Anna to do something she doesn't want to do again, I will make you understand what unbearable pain is. As soon as these words came out, Anna's father was immediately frightened and broke out in a cold sweat. Someone who can easily produce 500 million in cash, how could he afford to offend them? At this time, I turned to look at Anna behind me and said,
Let's go! There's nothing worth lingering here.
Anna sweetly smiled and followed behind me. Just as we were about to leave, Han, who had been silent for a long time, spoke again.
Your handwriting is truly amazing. I am far behind,
he said. Just now, my son had a little conflict with you. I apologize to him on your behalf. I hope you, as an adult, will not take offense at a minor's actions. At this moment, I am like the god of wealth in his eyes. I can easily pull out 5 billion without blinking. Even the richest person in the country is no match for me. With such strong capabilities, he definitely dares not easily become my enemy. But George, the pig head beside you, is not happy. Clearly, he was the one who started hitting me first. Why are you speaking up for him? Han retaliated with a merciless iron fist. You rebellious son, shut up. The Han Group's family business will sooner or later be ruined by your incompetence. Under Han's fatherly education, I held hands with Anna and turned to leave the meeting room. And then we arrived outside the hotel. Anna looked at me with a slightly reddened face. Charles, thank you so much for saving me today. Upon hearing this, I smiled mysteriously. It's no big deal. This isn't the first time I've saved you. The white moonlight that I once risked my life to protect. When we met again, she had become an item up for auction in the hands of her parents. She thought that her life had come to an end, while I directly spent 5 billion. I freed her from the cage of interests. The moving moonlight is very touching. Just as she was about to offer herself, I told her,
Actually, this is not the first time I've saved you.
On a night many years ago, Anna was riding her bike home as usual. She hadn't gone far when she was surrounded by several burly men.
Hey little girl, we are a bit short on cash lately. Can you lend us some pocket money?
Of course, it's okay if you don't have any. Just hang out with us guys for a while, that would be fine. Just as several strong men were preparing to take action, a figure came rushing towards them from behind at high speed. The next second, that figure crashed into the arms of one of the strong men. Classmate, run quickly. Only to see that person tightly holding onto the strong man and loudly shouting,
Run quickly! Absolutely do not look back.
At the words, Anna dared not linger any longer. She turned and ran towards the distance. However, due to her extreme nervousness at that time, she didn't get a clear look at who was rescuing her for a moment. And several burly men, seeing their good deeds being interrupted, immediately started punching and kicking the person. When Anna came to her senses and called the police, only a broken bicycle was left at the scene. The person and the several burly men had already disappeared without a trace. As Anna's memory gradually returned to reality, 2 lines of hot tears have already filled her cheeks. I thought I would never meet that person again in this lifetime, the one who saved her at the cost of his life. Unexpectedly, fate had already made the best arrangement for her. Anna continued with a blush on her face.
Charles, Is that really you?
At the same time, the system sent me a message. Anna's affinity has increased to 95. Congratulations, host, on successfully completing the counterattack. It has been detected that host has spent a total of 500 million simp coins. Anna will be converted into host simp. At the same time, host receives 35 enhancement points and becomes fluent in English, French, Russian, and Korean languages. At this moment, looking at Anna's affectionate appearance as gentle as water, I was surprised. It's too quick to complete the turnaround. I haven't had the chance to use many of my tricks yet. With the blessing of the system's strengthening point, I am as strong as Superboy. Looking at Anna's loving gaze, my heart has reached an unprecedented calmness. Although I didn't expect to conquer her so quickly, it seems quite good this way. This time, I will finally no longer be a bystander. This time, I can finally pursue her openly and honestly. This time, I finally did not let down my past self who once charged into love. The moment I locked eyes with Anna, a hint of ambiguity instantaneously filled the air. The moment we couldn't help but move closer to each other. A sudden ringing of the phone interrupted us. But when I saw the caller ID, I was stunned. Cynthia actually called me at this time. Oh. Smokey got caught cheating by his girlfriend, who is the school beauty. But instead of getting angry, the girlfriend not only forgave him, but also invited him to attend her birthday party with his ex-girlfriend. Just now, I generously spent 500 million to win back my first love. But just as she was about to give herself to him, the campus belle girlfriend suddenly called. I was stunned when I saw this scene. If this is discovered by Anna, wouldn't my pure love image be shattered? Watching Anna standing by with a sly smile, I had no choice but to awkwardly answer Cynthia's phone call. But as soon as I answered the call, Cynthia on the other end began to chatter nonstop.
Charles, I have moved into the villa you gave me. I've been busy setting up the new furniture these days. Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
I laughed awkwardly at her words.
Of course I know. Tomorrow is your birthday. I have already prepared the gifts.
And over at the villa, Cynthia was directing the workers to move furniture while leisurely painting her nails. By the way, there's no need to give overly expensive gifts. I have invited many classmates to my birthday party this time. I would feel embarrassed to accept something too expensive. Upon hearing this, I muttered to myself that things were not looking good. This little girl seems to want to cut off my source of income. Then who should I give the Ferrari that I just bought to? At this time, Joan, who has been single since birth, stood there holding a painting and said angrily,
Cynthia, stop chatting on the phone and focus. Where should this painting be hung?
Seeing this, Cynthia quickly hung up the phone and came over to help. She even started dancing ballet on the spot. Joan on the side was dumbfounded by her actions. Women in love are really hopeless. And after hanging up the phone, I quickly glanced at Anna beside me. She surprisingly didn't ask who called. But it's also good. Since you don't ask, I'll take the initiative. This way it seems that I am generous and open-minded. It also won't make the other party suspicious. Then I turned my head and looked at Anna. Anna's university classmate is having a birthday party. Do you want to come? Upon hearing this, Anna replied with her chin resting in her hand.
I'd better not go. There are still many things waiting for me to handle after signing the company contract. Besides, those are all your classmates. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to go.
Anna appears to be on the first level, but in fact, she has already broken through the atmosphere. Some questions can be asked but may not necessarily have answers. So I might as well not ask. My tactic is to retreat in order to advance. How are you going to respond to this? Upon hearing this, I slightly expressed regret and said,
That is a pity.
Anna would have definitely outshone others if she had gone. But it's okay. There will be many opportunities in the future. Of course, I'm just being polite on the surface. If Anna had really gone, it would have caused me a lot of trouble. Anna knows this in her heart. Outstanding men will never lack beautiful women by their side. But relying on her own charm, she firmly believes that she is the one in the end. While we are polite to each other on the surface, in reality, we have already had hundreds of mental confrontations. At this moment, Anna took the initiative to break the awkward atmosphere.
Charles, I really appreciate your help today. You spent so much money.
I just chuckled and said,
If you really feel bad about it, you can pay me some interest first.
Upon hearing that, Anna immediately smacked a kiss on my face. Then she turned around, leaving me with her back. This is the interest. From now on, you belong to me. Upon hearing these words, I felt so uncontrollable. 2 streams of blood rushed to my nose immediately. So domineering. I like it so much. Today can be considered as a successful fulfillment of my merits. I can happily return to school to play games. But just as I was about to drive away, I was stopped by a familiar voice. I saw my ex-girlfriend Sandra with a surprised look on her face, pointing at the Ferrari saying,
Charles? This is your car?
Materialistic ex-girlfriend gets a face slap again, welcoming a new upgrade. But the first thing she did was tear apart her best friend. Just because her best friend dared to pursue her ex-boyfriend in front of her. It turns out it was just a moment ago. I ran into my ex-girlfriend Sandra, whom I haven't seen for a long time. And when she saw me, her face was filled with disbelief. Charles, you actually drive a Ferrari LaFerrari. You should know that this is a limited edition Ferrari supercar that money can't buy. She has only seen it at car exhibitions. It can be imagined. I am not the millionaire who was mentioned before, but the legendary top billionaire. Thinking of this, Sandra immediately wanted to come forward to get close to me. I ended up ignoring her altogether. Just closed the car door directly. Then I hit the gas pedal to 180, leaving under Sandra's awkward gaze. At this moment, the best friend nearby looks like she suddenly understands everything. This Charles seems to be a real tycoon. Otherwise, how could he afford to drive a Ferrari LaFerrari without a prominent identity? So he must have been lying before. He is much richer than Terry. Or maybe he was probably testing you the last time. Upon hearing this, Sandra's pupils suddenly dilated. Right. Why didn't I think of that? Charles must have wanted to test my feelings for him last time. But I accepted Terry's friend request right in front of him. I am such a fool. Charles did give me a chance. But I messed it up with my own hands. Sandra was immediately filled with regret. This is not a case of losing sesame seeds and picking up watermelon. This is clearly a case of losing a gold bar and picking up sesame seeds. Sandra became more and more upset. She immediately burst into tears in the arms of her best friend. I've missed such an important opportunity. Do you think Charles will forgive me? Upon hearing this, her best friend let out a cold laugh. Do you think he will forgive you? You have no chance now. But if it were me, maybe there would still be a slight chance. Sandra was suddenly shocked upon hearing these words. She immediately grabbed her best friend's shoulder.
What do you mean by this? Are you thinking about my brother Charles?
And the best friend stopped pretending.
Charles is so outstanding. Any girl would like him, right? Besides, why can you like him and I can't?
Saying that, the best friend straightened up. Who knows, maybe Charles is already tired of someone like you and prefers someone like me. Before the best friend could finish speaking, Sandra grabbed her hair. Ruth, do you believe I will tear your mouth apart? Was it you who set me up at the last party? Ruth also didn't show weakness. She, in turn, grabbed Sandra's hair. Who do you think you are, some rich young lady? Aren't you also in it for the money by climbing into Keith and Terry's cars? At this point, Sandra had already entered a twisted mode. You scum. I'm going to rip your mouth apart. Soon, the two of them disregarded their images and started fighting on the street. This scene immediately attracted many onlookers, who eagerly took photos. You should know that this girl is much better at fighting than the boys. After fighting for 2.5 hours, Sandra returned to school looking for Lauren. This round can be considered a loss. Not only did she lose her ex-boyfriend, who was a rich kid, she even lost her fake friends now. Thinking that I am getting better and better now, the gap between her and me will only get bigger. Sandra feels even more miserable in her heart. I can't continue like this. Otherwise, I really won't have any chance at all. Just when Sandra was thinking about how to control me again, she was stopped by a voice behind her. Little girl, don't cry. You are Sandra, right? I'm Teresa. Are you interested in becoming the internet celebrity for our company? Looking at the business card handed over, Sandra's face was full of question marks. Can becoming an internet celebrity bring Charles back to me? Upon hearing this, Teresa smiled mysteriously. As long as you join our company, I have a way to help you win Charles back. The money-worshipping ex-girlfriend has actually become a live-streaming host in order to reconcile with me. But the first thing she did was to publicly accuse me of abandoning her in front of the whole internet. She thought she could change my mind by putting pressure on me through public opinion. In the end, I was just a phone call. Her agency was immediately blacklisted across the entire internet. In the boys' dormitory at this moment, I lay on the chair, thinking about what gift to give Cynthia. After all, I am just one step away from winning her over. If this gift is chosen well, maybe I can successfully turn the tables tonight. After thinking about it for a while, I still couldn't come up with what to give. So I decided to go out and shop around. Just then, the squad leader exclaimed,
Oh my God!
Sandra actually started a live stream. What is she up to? Upon hearing this, I immediately went over. Could it be that she wants to live stream and get close to a new big brother? But after seeing the title of her live stream room, I was completely unsettled. The things between me and the godly tycoon Smokey. I saw Sandra in the live streaming room. She wiped away her tears and said,
I am Smokey's first love. He pursued me for 2.5 years during our freshman year in college.
At first, I thought he was just an honest person. I didn't know he was very wealthy. So I accepted his proposal. At the beginning, Smokey was very attentive to me. He even worked 3 jobs, just to be able to buy me a new cell phone. We used to be so loving and sweet. But eventually, he didn't want me anymore. However, the netizens were not buying it at all. They believed that Sandra was just riding on Smokey's popularity, boasting here instead of working hard at the factory. And seeing this scene, I would explode if I look any longer. Getting any closer, I feel like I'm about to melt. This shameless person really has no face. Clearly, she was the one who betrayed me first. Now she's acting like a victim. But then, I thought it over and felt something was off. With Sandra's pig brain, how could she come up with such a cunning trick? Wanting to use Smokey's reputation to attract attention. Then, through public opinion, portray themselves as a victim. There must be an expert behind this. Just thinking about it, I immediately took out my phone and called Bald Man. Help me check which financial company's room the live broadcast is in. 2.5 minutes later, Bald Man immediately sent me a message. Smokey found out. The company that the live broadcast room belongs to is Dream Entertainment, and the legal representative is named Teresa. Upon seeing the name, the image of Teresa threatening me to join the media company immediately came to mind. Interesting. Coming to provoke me time and time again. Do you really think I have no way to deal with you? At the same time, Dream Entertainment Company headquarters over here. Sandra's live stream room popularity unexpectedly exceeded 100,000. You are really amazing. Teresa is very pleased to hear this. The method of hitting the cow over the mountain is always the most effective. Prior to this, she intended to rely on Smokey's reputation to threaten me to join their company. As a result, the boss scolded her harshly, saying,
Have you taken the wrong medicine?
Charles is the wealthy tycoon Smokey. A single word from him could make our company go bankrupt. You seem like you have a mental illness. Let him join our economic company. If you don't want to work, then get lost. After finding out my true identity, Teresa was also unbelieving. I was the one who, in just half a month, swept the entire platform as a super god of wealth. However, this also gave her a new strategy. Since she couldn't get me to join their economic company, she decided to target the people around me. So Teresa asked her assistant to investigate my romantic history. Upon learning about my recent breakup with my college sweetheart, Teresa was very excited. Smokey must surely be unable to forget that girl. They say first love is infinitely beautiful. As long as we can make Smokey's first love a hit internet sensation, it will definitely be able to appease Smokey's anger. It may even make him take notice of our company in a new light. Just as Teresa was lost in her wild thoughts, the boss called her. At the moment the call connected, she was struck as if by lightning.
What? Our company has been completely banned online.
A phone call from a man caused the woman's internet-famous company to go bankrupt. But the woman not only didn't get angry, but instead developed a different kind of feelings towards the man. Turns out Smokey is so handsome. Especially when he tells me to get lost. Just now, Teresa is trying to win my favor. She is actually planning to turn my ex-girlfriend Sandra into a top internet celebrity. There is no man who doesn't reminisce about his first love. I thought this would not only appease my anger. I thought I could also use my influence to help her web celebrity company rise to new heights. But unexpectedly, I ended up shooting myself in the foot and causing my own company to collapse instantly. I was angry the moment I found out that Teresa was using my reputation for hype. What a silly first love. Such a big internet celebrity company. Can't the investigation be more thorough? So I posted a message in the group chat for the first time. Have any dealings with the MCN company called Dream? Of course, it would be best if this company could disappear completely. Just 2.5 minutes after I send out the message, major companies immediately announced the termination of cooperation with Dream MCN agency and offered double the contract amount to recruit all of Dream streamers. Some companies that had previous collaborations with Dream also reported to the tax authorities that Dream had been evading taxes. In just under 2.5 hours, the tax authorities initiated the liquidation of Dream Company's assets. And the news quickly spread to Dream Company's headquarters. Teresa, who learned of this, looked incredulous. What on earth? How could they want to shut down our company out of nowhere and terminate all cooperation contracts? Before she had time to think, an assistant walked up with a notebook. The major shareholders of the company just sent an email stating their withdrawal of investment. According to the terms of the contract, we need to spend $1 billion to repurchase their shares. Upon hearing this, Teresa was so angry that her whole body was trembling. Right now, the company doesn't even have $10 million in working capital, let alone $1 billion. Who on earth is playing tricks on me? In no time, court staff came to the door, like they had agreed, to collect the debt. Teresa, your company's loan has been overdue for 6 months. Now the court will enforce freezing all your assets. At the same time, those key people who were poached with high salaries said,
"Thank you for your care. We have decided to leave the company. Wishing you continued success in your business."
Just as Teresa and her assistant were about to return to the company in the sudden night rain, they were stopped by the security guard. If your office building continues to not pay the property management fees, then I can only handle it officially. In less than half a day, the former top-lived streaming company has officially declared bankruptcy. At this moment in front of the company building, only Teresa and her assistant are left standing in the wind, looking disheveled. Teresa suddenly remembered someone. This must be Smokey's doing. Only he has such great ability. But why is he targeting me? And on the other side, seeing Sandra's live streaming room being permanently shut down. I smiled knowingly. Bald Man and Dragon are quite efficient in their work. It seems I need to find a time to treat them to a meal. Later, I hopped into the Ferrari, ready to buy a gift for Cynthia. After all, the top priority for today is to win her over. But just as I was about to step on the gas and leave, a face suddenly appeared on the car window. It almost scared the life out of me. Teresa looked pale and said,
Smokey, I was wrong. I shouldn't have tried to be clever and upset you. Please forgive me and spare my life.
I was about to tell her not to bother me when the system sent me a message. Teresa has been successfully bound as the target for counterattack. Don't mess with me, system. I have zero interest in the old auntie. I immediately spoke sternly to Teresa. Auntie, consider this a warning. I hope you can recognize your place. Get lost. Don't bother me again in the future. But these words made Teresa look at me with a face full of infatuation. I didn't think so before. Now I find Smokey more and more handsome. Especially when he told me to get lost. Saying that, my affinity for him instantly increased by 10 points. And realizing all this, I yelled out that it's crazy. How could my affinity still increase? Immediately, I stepped on the gas and hit 250, leaving this place of controversy. The school beauty who is usually struggling financially in daily life. But she stayed in a mansion worth tens of millions at her birthday party. Seeing this scene, the classmates started to discuss it one after another. This villa clearly belongs to a 40-year-old man. Could it be that Cynthia is being taken advantage of by someone? But the next second, Cynthia directly threw the notebook in front of everyone's faces. Please take a good look. Whose name is written on this? It turns out it was just now. Cynthia celebrated her birthday and invited some classmates to her villa number 1. Seeing the magnificent villa, the classmates cast envious glances. Cynthia, are you a daughter of a wealthy family? Please take us there soon. After all, considering the property prices in the River District, ordinary tycoons simply cannot afford it. Just as Cynthia was about to exchange pleasantries with her classmates, an untimely voice suddenly sounded. River Villa Community went on sale, and my father and I came to see it. I heard that this number 1 villa was bought by a boss. It is said that the person is in their 30s or 40s. The person speaking is Lily, the minister of the student union and also Cynthia's archenemy. Joan, as Cynthia's best friend, immediately felt unhappy upon hearing this.
Lily, what do you mean? Do you think Cynthia would lie to us?
At this point, Lily's boyfriend chimed in, agreeing with her and said,
Lily is right. I even attended Gerald's birthday party before. His daughter is already 12 years old.
The surrounding classmates started to gossip. This villa doesn't belong to Cynthia. Could it be that she was really given that by Gerald? Although Cynthia's family is well off, they shouldn't be able to afford this kind of luxury villa either. But before anyone could say more, Cynthia slammed her notebook down in front of everyone. Then you guys take a good look for yourselves. Whose name is written on it? Joan also looked at Lily with a smile on her face. Some people just like sticking their faces out to be hit by others. What a strange quirk. And upon seeing the little notebook, everyone immediately changed their attitude. That's what I said. How could Cynthia be the kind to hit others? She's such a vain woman who inflates her face to resemble a fat person. Cynthia is amazing. She has achieved financial freedom before even graduating from college. Listening to the flattering words of the crowd, Cynthia appeared worried. Did something happen on the way? And at this moment, a few hundred meters away from the villa, I was holding a 99-cent price teddy bear. It walked out of the car. Cynthia invited so many classmates over today. I should park the Ferrari a bit further away. Can't be too showy in front of my classmates, to avoid unnecessary trouble later on. But I hadn't taken a few steps when a burst of sports car engine roar came from behind. A Ferrari 488 raced past me. It almost broke my back. Soon the 488 stopped at the entrance of the villa. This caused a wave of exclamations from my classmates. Look! It's Timothy's 488. I heard this car is worth over $4 million. Timothy is truly young and wealthy. At this moment, a figure slowly got out of the car. The newcomer is none other than the campus heartthrob Timothy, who is also the renowned second son of the Tang group. After Timothy hung up the phone, he happened to notice me walking behind him. And seeing me acting foolishly made Timothy look disdainful immediately. What's wrong with Cynthia? She invited such a dirty mouse to the birthday party. The birthday gift is still a teddy bear that costs 9 renminbi and 90 cents. It's really ridiculous. A scream came from behind us. Cynthia's face lit up with joy as she exclaimed,
"You're finally here! It's so late! I've been worried about you for ages!"
I am clearly worth trillions. On the schoolbell's birthday, I gave her a teddy bear that cost 9.9 yuan. The classmates who saw this scene all mocked me for being poor. After all, the cheapest gift they gave was a watch worth 2,000. And the campus heartthrob even gave away a top-quality piano worth 1 million. He thought that by doing so, he could win the campus belle in one fell swoop. But the next second, the campus belle refused to accept it on the spot. Instead, she chose my teddy bear. It turns out it was just earlier. I met the campus heartthrob, Timothy, at the villa entrance. And seeing me looking poor and foolish, Timothy immediately showed a look of disdain. It really is that anyone can attend. A gasp came from behind us. Cynthia, with a delighted expression on her face, said,
"I've been waiting for you for a long time."
Upon hearing this, Timothy opened his arms wide and pounced towards Cynthia. As a result, Cynthia dodged and Timothy missed his target. Then she came in front of me with a joyful face. "Is this teddy bear a gift for me?" The onlookers were petrified on the spot when they saw this scene. Is the icy beauty going to melt? I spent over 2,000 on Cynthia. She wasn't even this surprised when I gave her a watch. Timothy's face darkened instantly on the side. He pursued Cynthia for 2.5 years, but has had little success. Unexpectedly, there is now an additional nuisance. A large truck stopped behind Timothy. Seeing this, Timothy's mouth curled into a cold smile. Then he immediately came to Cynthia.
"I have a gift for you too. You must like it,"
he said. As soon as he finished speaking, 3 workers moved a very heavy-looking item from the truck. Timothy looked at me with a curious expression, but inside, he sneered. "Dare to compete with me for a woman? You won't even know how you die. I will make you understand what a class divide means." So it turns out the gift Timothy was going to give is actually a Yamaha CS6 grand piano worth millions, a professional-grade concert piano imported directly. This gift is perfect for the main character tonight, as Cynthia herself is a piano enthusiast. Timothy then showed a confident smile. "This is a gift I specifically picked out for you." Cynthia immediately rejected without much thought. Likes aside, this piano costing over 1 million is too expensive. I will transfer the money for the piano to Timothy later. Upon hearing this, Timothy waved his hand. Talking about money is too tacky. As long as you like it, that's all that matters. As he spoke, he sat down at the piano. Aside from this piano tonight, I have another piece of music to give to you. It's a song I personally wrote for you. The girls present immediately showed a face of infatuation. Timothy is going to play the piano. This is the first public performance since his solo concert in Vienna last year, right? As Timothy plucked the strings of the piano, a beautiful melody followed. 2.5 minutes later, Timothy stopped his hand movement. And the girls around were already immersed. They couldn't help but be drawn into this song. Timothy's playing is so soothing. He and Cynthia are truly a perfect match. I ship this couple hard. Cynthia also came to Timothy and praised.
"Thank you for the song you played. You're really good at the piano. I'm not as good as you."
Who knew, at this moment, Timothy turned his head to look at me, who was daydreaming beside him. Since this classmate could make Cynthia admire him, why not show off his skills in front of everyone? In order to win the goddess's heart, the school grass not only gave her $1 million piano, but also personally wrote a song for the goddess. After it was done, he even asked me to play it in front of my classmates. Thought this would embarrass me in front of my classmates. But just at the moment when I touched the strings, all classmates were shocked and sweating profusely. The speed of playing the piano is just like Beethoven in his time. It was just now, facing the challenge issued by Timothy. I just sneered inwardly. It was obvious that this guy wanted me to make a fool of myself in front of my classmates, to be his stepping stone to win over the goddess. I naturally wouldn't let him succeed. I then calmly said,
"Since Timothy has so warmly invited me, I might as well accept the invitation."
Upon hearing these words, Cynthia looked surprised. She never expected that I could still play the piano. While other classmates were laughing on the side. This guy dressed like a beggar. I'm afraid he has never touched a piano before. Listening to the ridicule of many classmates, I couldn't hold it anymore. I can't play the piano. But I have a cheat code. After all, I still have 35 unspent enhancement points on hand. At this time, the system also prompted very appropriately. It detected that the host does not possess piano skills. Do you want to enhance and unlock them? Upon hearing this, I raged in my heart. Fill me up. The attribute points I own can make my piano skills soar directly. Then I glanced at Timothy next to me, who wanted to climb up by stepping on his brother. You are really thinking nonsense. Then I looked stern. Give me a 50-year intensification of piano experience. As the golden light shone around me, I transformed from a complete piano novice into a piano master in an instant. Timothy was also surprised when he saw my sudden change in aura. This kid is acting strange. And as I moved my 10 fingers across the strings, a beautiful melody started to play. Timothy's eyes widened in surprise, because the piece I played was precisely the song he had created. This is absolutely impossible. No one can memorize a whole piece of music in such a short time. I see the look of shock on his face. I smile smugly. That's enough to shock him. The real trick is still to come. My speed is so fast that afterimages are starting to appear. But this only surprised Timothy even more. You see, the faster you play, the more likely you are to make mistakes. Yet not a single note from me was out of place. As I continued to increase my hand speed, that $1,000,000 piano was almost starting to spark from my playing. And this scene dazzled the crowd. What kind of hand speed is this? One person actually played with the feel of a duet. You can't achieve this without the hand speed from being single for 18 years. A classmate let out a surprised cry. Is this the long-lost Beethoven singing, dancing, and rapping technique that the teacher mentioned? You should know that the training method for this skill is extremely brutal. Talent, perseverance, and physical fitness are all indispensable. But once the great feat is accomplished, every note played can reach the heart with unparalleled precision. Just like a ruthless Gatling gun, mercilessly strafing the audience's eardrums. And as I gradually slowed down my speed, the song also reaches its final conclusion. Just as I played the last note, a faint mist unexpectedly drifted out from my entire body. All the classmates who saw this scene suddenly gasped in astonishment. Charles's harmonization with the piano has reached a state of transcendence. The school's top-ranking campus beauty has finally arrived. But after getting a clear look at her appearance, I was shocked. I never expected it to be her. After I perfectly replicated the school hunk's tune, the whole birthday party scene suddenly fell silent. No one would have expected that I, a poorly dressed person with average looks, could have such a deep understanding of the piano. Just a moment ago, I was thinking of using the piano to climb to the top like the campus idol. At this moment, I am collapsed on the ground like a deflated basketball. I pulled out a cigarette from my pocket. Then I placed it on the strings of the $1,000,000 piano. The cigarette was unexpectedly lit on the spot. The speed has already made the piano smoke. Then I walked up to him, who was still daydreaming, and patted his shoulder in front of the campus heartthrob. Actually, your piano skills are already top-notch. Keep up the good work, and you will eventually become a piano master of your generation. I was shocked as I shoved a cigarette into his mouth, watching his reaction. But you committed a taboo. The piano is a medium for expressing inner feelings, not a tool for you to use to compete and be jealous. Upon hearing this, Timothy was immediately stunned in place. So this is the true master of the piano. As I commented on the campus heartthrob, the surrounding students erupted into enthusiastic applause. Turns out, Charles has been hiding his talent so well. No wonder Cynthia holds him in high regard. Timothy really brought it upon himself this time to collide with a tough opponent. At this moment, Cynthia is also looking pleased inwardly. I knew I didn't misjudge him. I thought Charles only had remarkable wealth. I didn't expect his artistic cultivation to reach such great heights as well. With that in mind, Cynthia's gaze towards me changed once again. This kind of man is truly exceptional even among the exceptional. He's like a real treasure boy. Under Cynthia's self-strategy, my affinity immediately increased by 5 points. At this point, the system sent me a prompt. Simp target number 3. Cynthia's host affinity has exceeded 95 points. Congratulations on the successful counterattack. Congratulations, host's piano proficiency has reached level 60. After Cynthia became my simp, there is no one else in her eyes. She is filled with love for me. Shortly after, the system sent another prompt. The host has spent a total of 100 million on the third simp, and will receive a reward of 12 million. My hand holding the water cup couldn't help but tremble. Now I have finally become a millionaire. This is the biggest cashback I've received after shopping on Coco. It's really worth it to buy this villa. I then excitedly stared at the system panel. As for the 25 bonus points, how should I make the best use of my enhancement points? Just as I was pondering, I heard Cynthia's gentle voice behind me. I had just turned around when Cynthia snuggled into my arms. Charles, you have truly given me so many surprises. I am very happy tonight. This is the second gift I carefully prepared for you. So how are you going to thank me? Upon hearing these words, Cynthia shyly pushed me away.
Charles, you're so annoying,
she said. The scene shattered the handsome school hunk's heart into pieces. Then, he looked dejected as he huddled in a corner. In this battle of love, he had lost completely. Just at that moment, a classmate exclaimed,
Betty, the senior sister, she's here too.
As soon as he finished speaking, everyone looked outside the house. They saw a tall and beautiful figure appearing at the door. After seeing her face clearly, I was surprised. It turns out she is the #1 beauty in the school. The #1 beauty in the school has actually become my love rival. And the person she wants to compete for happens to be Cynthia, whom I just successfully wooed. I just said hello to her. I was immediately labeled as a top scumbag by her. Just as I couldn't bear it anymore, and didn't need to bear it any longer. The system sent me a reminder. Successfully bound school beauty Betty as the target for conquest. Simp action officially begins. Betty lives up to her name as a frosty beauty. She has consecutively topped the school beauty ranking for 4 years. She is also the president of the student council. However, facing such a stunning beauty with exceptional looks, none of the male students in the school dare to have any thoughts about her. This is because her most famous trait is not her extremely high appearance, but her extreme hostility towards all male students. Even if someone dares to look at her a bit longer, it will lead to an explosion. Therefore, there is a rumor circulating in the school that this top-ranked school beauty might be the legendary Ice Cold
Ice Queen.
She and the vice president Cynthia both have exceptionally high looks. This has caused many students to ship the two of them as a couple. And the reason for all of this can be traced back to that incident. From Betty's roommate, we learned that Betty was kidnapped by criminals when she was young. Although the police officers arrived in time to rescue her without any harm done to Betty. But this planted an indelible shadow in her heart, leading Betty to abhor all men from then on. Any man who dares to glance at her will face her harsh rebuke. Cynthia, with her arms around me, coquettishly asked,
Do you think Betty is pretty, or am I the pretty one?
Immediately triggering my player mode, I pinched Cynthia's chin and gently said,
Of all the water in the world, I only want a bowlful from you. You are the most beautiful in my heart.
After all, someone as domineering as Betty is not someone a sane person would like. I, for one, can't wait to get as far away from her as possible. What I want to do is just be a simp, not a dead dog. I didn't have much time to think. Cynthia, however, had a cheerful face. She waved towards Betty not far away. You're late again, oh. Upon hearing this, I directly exploded. Are you afraid I won't die early enough? And the Betty across from me just said with a cold look,
Sorry, Cynthia. There was a little traffic on the way.
At that moment, Cynthia pulled me in front of her to introduce me.
This is Charles from the literature department.
By now, I was already sweating profusely. It's like inviting trouble by being afraid of it. But I still forced myself to stay calm and said,
I've heard your name before. It's an honor to meet you.
Upon hearing this, Betty sneered.
You played that piece just now, didn't you? I've heard that you've become quite famous at school recently, attracting attention from all sides and maintaining ambiguous relationships with many girls. People like you, with talent but no virtue, are nothing but rubbish, even if you can play the piano well.
Upon hearing these words, I was immediately furious. This woman is probably seriously ill. How could she be so derogatory right from the start? Although what she said is not entirely wrong. The system suddenly prompts. The simp operation is officially launched. Successfully bind Betty as the target to conquer. After conquering her, you can get 35 enhancement points and the combat skill proficiency. Seeing this situation, I immediately smashed the system panel to the ground. This damn system can go to hell. Either it binds me to Teresa, who's like an old auntie, or it binds me to Betty, who's like a ruthless nun. Is it trying to make my life miserable? And I only said one sentence to her. This affinity is at -80. What's the point of conquering her? Then I glanced at Betty's unparalleled beauty. Am I really a dirty old man? No way. This is absolutely impossible. The lustful one must be the system. It's obviously the first time I've met the school belle. But she came up and persuaded my girlfriend to break up with me. She even wants to transfer her position as the student council president to her. Upon hearing this, Cynthia looked extremely surprised. Is it true that the senior sister is indeed a lesbian as rumored? She has had her eye on me for a long time. It turns out it was just now, with the arrival of senior sister Betty. Cynthia's birthday party gradually came to an end. Watching as the sky grows darker and darker, I slowly pushed out a 2.5-layer cake amidst my classmates' birthday song. Seeing this scene, Cynthia immediately closed her eyes and made a wish upon the cake. As she finished making her wish, her classmates all clapped and offered their blessings. I helped to cut and distribute the cake to everyone. Just as Cynthia was handing out cake to her classmates, Betty slowly approached her from behind. Can Cynthia spare some time to go out with me? I have something important to tell you. Cynthia looked puzzled at the words. Does the senior sister have something important to say? Soon the two of them arrived at the balcony of the villa. At this moment, Betty didn't hesitate to speak directly. I know you have a very good relationship with Charles, but I still feel that you should keep some distance from him. Charles is definitely a total scumbag. From what I know, he's at least ambiguous with 3 or 4 girls. I don't want you to get caught up in the emotional whirlpool of this scumbag. And I'm about to graduate soon. I intend to hand over the position of student council president to you. Hearing this, Cynthia covered her mouth in surprise. The senior sister is actually willing to pass on the position of the student council president to me. You should know that she and the senior sister are the president and vice president of the student council. They often clash on many issues and are like water and fire. But now, because they are about to graduate, the senior sister wants her to take over the president position. She refuses to believe it, as if it were unbelievable. With Cynthia's analysis, she has come to a final conclusion. That is, the senior sister is indeed rumored to be a lesbian and has long had her eye on her. Cynthia hurriedly waved her hand to refuse. Thank you for your kindness, senior sister. I have always respected you as a senior. As for the position of the student union president, I am not yet capable of handling it with my current abilities. Besides, Charles is not as you understand him, senior sister. Before Cynthia could finish speaking, Betty took a quick step forward to her. Love can truly make people blind. Look at yourself now. Where is the slightest bit of your usual grace and poise? You look nothing like the strict and serious student council member you used to be. I thought these words would make Cynthia realize something, but unexpectedly she shyly said, Senior, I've actually wanted to resign from the student council position. This way, I'll have more time to spend with Charles. Upon hearing this, Betty immediately became angry and said, How can you be so confused? How can you give up your sense of responsibility and ambition just because of a scumbag? Her affinity towards me also dropped rapidly. And there I was, sitting in the hall eating cake. After sensing all this, I nearly choked. Big sister, what did I do to offend you again? Eating a cake, and you deducted 10 points of my affinity. As Cynthia refused to take on the position of student council president, her conversation with Betty ended on a sour note. The birthday party ended soon after. Cynthia said goodbye to her classmates one by one. She stopped me as I was about to leave. She blushed and said, Charles, could you stay tonight? The campus bell was shivering while waiting for the bus. But I drove off in my Ferrari, leaving her behind. After all, just a second ago she labeled me as a scumbag. I wouldn't feel the slightest bit sorry even if this kind of temperamental goddess froze to death. But I had just walked not far when I found the school beauty surrounded by a few thugs. As the birthday party came to an end, classmates bid farewell to Cynthia and left one after another. As I stood up to get ready to go back to school, I was called by Cynthia from behind. I thought she would ask me to stay overnight. To my surprise, she blushed and asked me to go watch a movie with her tomorrow night. I guess I was overthinking it. But all thanks to this birthday party, I successfully won Cynthia over. I could say I have hit the jackpot. A shrill and tragic scream came from behind me. I saw the campus heartthrob squatting next to his sports car, crying out, I can't even compete with a poor loser. What's the point of me practicing the piano? I saw him and my mouth twitched. Isn't that Senior Timothy? Why hasn't he left yet? I thought I ran into a ghost in the middle of the night. I immediately jumped into the car to give Timothy a surprise. Hello, Timothy. Upon hearing this, Timothy was so scared that he stepped back 2.5 meters. How did you get here? I comforted him. Wasn't it because someone heard crying here? Timothy just lost a piano game. There's no need to take it to heart. But a faint, imperceptible smile appeared on my lips. After all, you lost to the system. Little did I know that Timothy happened to witness this scene. Charles, what do you mean? He asked. Are you making fun of me? Upon hearing this, I immediately jumped out of the car. Timothy, you are too sensitive, I said. I didn't mean to look down on you. I just ate too much cake last night and feel a bit bloated. Timothy's face darkened instantly. I admit your piano skills are better than mine. So what? He retorted. It's not your turn to pity me. He then proudly displayed his various designer brands. With my family background and wealth status, poor people like you can never catch up to me, even if you drive a rocket. He then took out the key to his Ferrari 488. Charles, I don't think you've ever driven such a nice car. Do you want me to be generous and give you a ride back to school? But I was too lazy to continue to bother with him. I turned around and opened the door of my Ferrari LaFerrari. Timothy, who saw the scene, was so excited that he crushed the car keys. As a top second-generation rich person, He naturally recognized that this was a global limited edition Ferrari sports car. Then he lay on the ground and let out a heart-wrenching scream. Driving a Ferrari but dressed in clothes from a street stall. It's really like the heavens are blind. Meanwhile, as I sat in the car, I was contemplating what movie to watch with Cynthia tomorrow. A figure suddenly appeared ahead on the road. Isn't that Betty? Could it be that she is waiting for a ride alone? These days the temperature difference between day and night is significant. She's wearing so little, she'll definitely catch a cold if she continues like this. I immediately stepped on the gas pedal and accelerated to 250. With a swoosh, I flew past her. She deserves to freeze to death, this kind of goddess. If you have the guts, decrease my affinity by another 5 points. But I had only just rushed out about 2.5 meters. The scene in the rearview mirror surprised me. I saw several hooligans surrounding Betty. The school beauty was surrounded and bullied by 300 big guys. The leader, bald man, was drooling with desire for the school beauty. What is even more unexpected is that the school beauty is actually a fighting champion. She easily dealt with the bald man with just a kick. It turns out, it was just happened. I was about to go home after attending a birthday party when I saw the school beauty being harassed by a group of troublemakers. Such a good opportunity, so I went over immediately to watch the show. At this moment, several troublemakers surrounded Betty. She's all alone. It's so dangerous late at night. Do you want us brothers to escort you home? The bald man who was in charge said, and pulled Betty into his arms. A free bodyguard, oh. But well, you have to play some games with us. Seeing this, Betty immediately pushed away the bald man's roving hands. What exactly are you trying to do in broad daylight? If you keep doing this, I will call the police. Upon hearing this, the group of hoodlums burst into laughter. It's pitch black and windy tonight. Even if you scream your lungs out, no one will come to save you. The bald man revealed an even more sinister smile. This little girl has quite the fiery temperament. But the next second, the expression of the bald man instantly contorted. He then let out a piercing scream like a pig being slaughtered. It turns out that Betty's move, the breaking family legacy leg strike, hit the bald man's critical spot squarely. The onlookers were all stunned by this scene. How are you? Are you okay? Upon hearing this, bald man gritted his teeth and roared in anger.
Quickly tie that stinky woman up for me.
Upon hearing this, Betty immediately pulled her feet back. Then she ran wildly towards the front of the road. And under the order of the bald man, all the henchmen chased after Betty. Watching a group of hooligans getting closer and closer, Betty couldn't help but curse in silence.
They are a bunch of damn scoundrels. If it weren't for their numbers, with my fighting skills, I could definitely beat them until they don't even recognize their mothers.
Betty was so focused on running away that she didn't notice me watching the scene ahead. She accidentally bumped into me. Although I really didn't want to pay attention to her, out of classmate courtesy, I still asked if she needed help. Betty recognized me and was surprised. Wasn't Charles just driving away? But before she could think more, those hooligans immediately caught up. Then the bald man walked up, pointed at Betty, and angrily scolded.
Keep on running. Today, I will show you what cruelty really means.
Upon hearing this, Betty's face darkened. Men are truly not good people. Especially this Charles. If it weren't for him suddenly appearing, I would have left long ago. He really is a guy who can only add to troubles, but not solve any. I walked up to the group of men and said slowly,
Guys, that's about enough. A group of men bullying a weak woman. Do you still have any face left? I'll give you 2.5 minutes to leave immediately.
Upon hearing this, the bald man walked up arrogantly and said,
You still want to play the hero and save the damsel in distress. Have you bothered to find out who I am in the underworld?
However, 2.5 minutes later, the bald man and his gang were all taken down by me. After all, following several enhancements to my physical attributes, How could these few hooligans possibly be my opponents? Then I turned my head and looked at Betty beside me. Are you okay? Little did I know, I had just opened my mouth. Betty's affinity for me dropped by another 5 points. And her affinity towards me now reached -95. Seeing this situation, I immediately felt like I was going to spit blood from petrification. What do you mean, Betty? Who are you giving that stinky face to? I risked my life to rescue the school belle from the thugs. In the end, the school belle not only did not appreciate it, but instead scolded me as scum. Cynthia is willing to give up even the position of the student union president for you. Yet, you are here trying to play the hero and woo me. You just make me feel disgusted. It was just earlier when I knocked over 300 hooligans to save Betty. I thought at least this way, it would make her affinity towards me increase a bit. Little did I know, she put on a disgruntled look instead. And my affinity with her plummeted to an all-time low. Seeing this situation, I was completely frustrated. Big sister, I helped you without expecting my affinity to increase. How did it even decrease? I now have a -95 affinity with you. In your eyes, am I any different from a piece of poop? Looking at the mess all over the floor, the thugs are scattered everywhere. Betty, however, remains indifferent. Charles, do you think it's funny to act like this? You don't really think that I'm as easily fooled as other little girls, do you? She pointed to the thug lying on the ground as she spoke. I can just wait for a car to come by here and encounter a bunch of garbage. And you happen to appear just in time to play the role of a hero saving a beauty. Betty then walked up to me in high heels. Charles, you are either overestimating your intelligence or underestimating mine. Betty grew angrier as she spoke, and immediately grabbed my collar. Cynthia is willing to give up even the position of the student union president for you. Yet, you're here scheming to hit on me. Charles, just forget about it. Scumbags like you only disgust me. I watched Betty turn and leave. I should have just stood by and watched instead of meddling. This sister's imagination is larger than a black hole, and she also has a serious persecution complex. She thinks every man has ulterior motives against her. But how can I tolerate others? They are tarnishing my noble character. So I immediately stopped Betty and said, Senior sister, listen to my defense. Senior sister, listen to my explanation. But Betty didn't give me a chance to explain at all. Don't waste too much time explaining. Hope you take care of Cynthia yourself and treat her well. If you play any tricks, I will deal with you. I stood still, watching Betty walk away. She's such a self-righteous woman. Just then, the bald man I had knocked down regained consciousness. But the next second, a size 48 foot kicked him in the face. And I roared, Unknown_0, you stinky woman. If I have to take action again, the next time I encounter such a thing. I turned around indignantly and left, feeling like I had just stepped on something. 2.5 hours later, I returned to the school gate. But I was full of anger. So annoying. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I felt humiliated by her. Just then, my phone suddenly rang. I was surprised when I saw the caller ID. It was actually a call from White Moonlight Anna. What's the matter with her calling me so late at night? I only heard Anna's gentle voice on the phone. Charles, are you free tomorrow? I don't have classes tomorrow, and I'd like to invite you to watch a movie. Upon hearing this, I immediately broke out in a cold sweat. What an unfortunate coincidence. Cynthia also invited me to watch a movie tomorrow. What should I do? Before I could think of a solution, Anna bashfully said, This is the first time I've asked someone to watch a movie with me. You can't refuse me. Upon hearing this, my expression immediately darkened. In that case, let the capable handle it. On the same day is the same day. At most, we can have one session in the morning and one session in the afternoon. The beauty sneakily sat in my Ferrari. She even pretended to board the wrong car just to get to know me. But she was refused by me, claiming that I didn't have a phone. Hearing this, The beautiful woman angrily got off the car. But she ran into my good buddy head-on. Kimberly, didn't you say you were going to the hospital to accompany your mother? How come you're in my brother's car? It just happened a moment ago. The school bell and my crush both invited me to watch a movie tomorrow. Smart me immediately decided to make the most of the situation. I chose to watch a movie in the morning with one and the afternoon with the other. But just at this moment, my good buddy Walter came to me in tears. He told me that he was rejected by the girl he asked out to watch a movie tomorrow. The tickets have already been purchased. Can you accompany me to watch it instead? Upon hearing this, I couldn't help but feel a headache coming on. It seems that plans can't keep up with changes. I thought watching 2 movies tomorrow would be enough, but who knew it would turn into 3 movies. So the next morning, bright and early, I drove to the school gate to wait for my good friend. As a result, this guy was even more unreliable than a woman. I ended up waiting for 2.5 hours without seeing any sign of him. But there's nothing I can do about it. After all, he is my good buddy. When I had no food in the past, he was the one who helped me out. Now that I have become successful, I naturally cannot treat my good buddy unfairly. And I have also arranged the time for watching movies properly. Watch the 2 o'clock screening with your good buddy. Watch with Cynthia at 5 in the afternoon. Finally, watch with Anna at 8 in the evening. As long as the schedule is reasonable, even if you watch several movies in one day, you won't be afraid at all. Just as I was lost in thought, a strange noise came from the passenger seat. Upon hearing the sound, I immediately said,
"You are such a coward. What took you so long?"
Little did I know that a girl who looked 6 out of 10 in appearance sat in the passenger seat. She immediately started applying makeup on herself as soon as she got in the car. She seemed to notice my gaze. The girl looked at me with a smile and said,
"I got so engrossed in my makeup that I got on the wrong car."
Upon hearing that, I remained calm.
"You should get off at the next stop. Just be more careful next time," I replied.
The girl was surprised to hear this.
"There's actually someone who can resist my charm. Driving a luxury car and looking so handsome. How could I let you go?"
she said coquettishly.
"Even though they say I got on the wrong car, maybe I've actually met the right person."
She then immediately sent a friend request.
"Brother, can you add me as a friend? I feel like we really hit it off."
I didn't even bother to lift my head at her words. I don't have a phone. I've met many women like you. We Sigma men never fall into the trap of women. The girl saw my indifferent attitude and immediately got off the car in anger. But he'd bumped into my good friend Walter head-on. "Kimberly, didn't you say you were going to the hospital to accompany Mom? How come you're in my brother's car?" Seeing this situation, I secretly thought it was not good. Could it be that this woman refused my good brother's movie invitation? Think about this. Listen to my explanation. Things are not as you see them. But Walter's face was full of anger. "I know you are complete strangers with no connection at all," he said, pointing with a big hand. "Kimberly, you see my brother driving a Ferrari. So, you wanted to hook up with him. As a result, my brother was not interested and asked you to get out of the car. You two have no relationship at all. It's totally you clinging to my brother stubbornly. Am I right?" Upon hearing this, I nodded more than 200 times in agreement. He truly is my good brother. Later, I got into the Ferrari with my good brother. We left under Kimberly's shocked gaze. Walter is a loser who only has a monthly allowance of $800. How could he have such wealthy friends? The man flirted with my school's beauty queen girlfriend in front of me. But I wasn't angry. Instead, I taught him how to pursue a girl step by step. I then showed off my flirting skills in front of him. "Miss, you are really beautiful. Can we find a place with no one around to have a deep conversation?" Seeing this situation, the man looked disdainful. "This is how you can get a girl. I'll take my head off and use it as a basketball for you." But the next second, he was slapped in the face on the spot. The beautiful woman agreed without hesitation. It happened just now. I brought my good buddy to the agreed-upon movie theater. Little did we know, the movie had just started. The good friend burst into tears immediately. Why can you always date top-tier beauties, while my relationships never work out? Is it really because I'm too poor? Upon hearing this, I smiled triumphantly. Looks like you've asked the right person. In the realm of relationships, the one who reveals their need for love quickly often ends up at a disadvantage. The more aggressively you pursue, the more the other person may see you as cheap. The key to pursuing a girl is not about tactics, but about whether you are strong within yourself. The two girls behind us started to laugh maliciously when they saw us whispering to each other. It's really strange for two men to come to watch a movie. Could it be that they have that kind of relationship? At this point, I put on the appearance of a love expert. Brother, let me tell you. Money is meant to be shown to women, not to be spent on them. The more you spend on her, the more she will see you as a dog. When Walter heard this, he looked as if he had suddenly become enlightened. Listening to what you just said, I feel like it makes so much sense. He then grabbed my hand and said,
Please teach me how to become stronger.
Upon hearing this, I immediately became cocky. There's nothing much I can teach you. I'm just a little bit more handsome than you. A little bit richer than you. Have a few more girlfriends than you. Actually, it's very hard for me to manage so many things every day. Regular guys like you wouldn't understand at all. Upon hearing this, Walter's veins bulged immediately. I want you to teach me how to pick up girls, not to listen to you show off. After my 2.5 hours of explanation, Walter finally saw the light. Charles, thank you. If there is a chance in the future, I will definitely repay you well. Upon hearing this, I immediately grabbed his hand. Now you have the chance. Just give me a call in 2.5 hours. Just at that moment, the two girls from the movie theater happened to pass by. They must be a couple. I am also too lazy to explain further about this. As long as my good buddy calls me in time, I can break away and rush to the next movie screening. I quickly rushed to the movie theater where I had arranged to meet Cynthia. I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw her looking around at the entrance of the movie theater. I almost missed her. Cynthia, on the other hand, was looking at her watch and muttering to herself. The movie is starting in half an hour. Why hasn't Charles arrived yet? Just as she was worrying, a voice came from behind. Just then, a brown-haired man came up to Cynthia and said,
Miss, I have been watching you for a long time. Can I add you as a friend?
Upon hearing this, Cynthia replied apologetically,
I'm sorry. I already have plans.
The brown-haired man, however, was persistent.
I just want to get to know you. If you find me annoying, you can delete me. Just consider it fulfilling my wish to meet a beautiful woman.
Just as the brown-haired man finished speaking, a big hand landed on his shoulder. Everyone has rejected you. There's no need to be persistent here. Let me teach you how to approach girls. As she was speaking, I slid my hand behind Cynthia and pinned her against the wall. Miss, you are really beautiful. Can we find a private place to have a deep conversation? Seeing this situation, the brown-haired man looked disdainful. Can you seduce girls like this? I'll take my head off and use it as a basketball for you. But the next second, the brown-haired man was slapped right in the face. Cynthia didn't even hesitate and immediately agreed. The brown-haired man and passers-by who saw this scene all had a look of disbelief on their faces. The campus beauty asked me to watch a movie, but I was busy playing on my phone the whole time. Because just 2.5 hours ago, I watched with my good buddies. And next, I have to watch it again with my lover. I thought the school beauty would be angry because of this. But she looked at me with tears in her eyes. Charles, you are so busy yet you still take the time to be with me. You are really amazing. At the IMAX cinema right now, the exciting scene of the male lead kicking a nuclear bomb is being shown. But facing such an exciting scene, Cynthia's face is unhappy with pursed lips. Charles, You have always been interested in this movie, haven't you? But I see you've been playing with your phone since the movie started. Upon hearing this, I was startled. I dare not tell her that I have just watched this movie. I know every detail, even how many nose hairs the male lead has. So I immediately made up an excuse. I said that the family business has been keeping me very busy lately, giving me a headache to deal with. Upon hearing my explanation, Cynthia immediately felt sorry for me. Charles has such a large family business to inherit, the pressure must be immense. Cynthia then started imagining again. As ordinary people, we can live carefree lives, but he has to bear so much. Others can only see Charles's superb skills, but they don't know how many tears he has shed behind that. Descendants from prominent families, like Charles, must have learned a wide range of skills from an early age. From playing musical instruments to painting and calligraphy, and from singing and dancing to rapping, if it were an ordinary person, they would have given up long ago. But Charles has never complained to anyone. He silently shoulders the mission of his family. As she thought about it, Cynthia shed tears of regret. I am such a bad woman. Charles is already working so hard, yet I still selfishly take up his precious time to watch a movie with me. I am really so bad. Cynthia became more and more excited as she thought about it. She immediately grabbed my hand. I was startled by this sudden touch. How did she suddenly reach out and grab my hand? But when I turned my head, I saw Cynthia looking at me with teary eyes. This left me completely shocked. This is an action movie, not a romance movie. Why are you so moved by it? The time watching the movie passed quickly. Cynthia asked kindly. Charles, it's already late. Are you hungry? Shall we find a place to eat? I dared not agree when I heard her words. I still have another movie to watch. Just as I was about to come up with an excuse to brush her off, my phone suddenly rang. When I saw that it was Walter calling, a slight smile crept onto my face. He truly is my good brother. The timing of this call is just spot on. So I answered the phone call and calmly asked, What's the matter calling me? But before he could reply, I immediately shouted, You've been hit by a car. Don't worry. I'll head over right now. Upon hearing that, Walter on the other end of the phone looked extremely speechless. I was perfectly fine, and then I had a car accident. And I looked apologetically at Cynthia. My good buddy is in a big trouble. I have to go check on him first. Cynthia smiled understandingly. If you have something to do, go and take care of it quickly. Watching my back as I turned and walked away, Cynthia was deeply moved. He is indeed a man with both affection and righteousness. And as soon as I sat in the Ferrari, I immediately took out my phone. There was still time to rush to the next movie. I am really a clever person. The white moonlight that I have liked for 10 years. Finally, she let me move into her house. But just as I was taking a shower, she found 4 movie tickets in my pocket. Bai Yuguang, who saw this scene, was shaking with anger. Did he also go to the movies with other girls? It turns out it was just now, after watching the second movie with the school belle Cynthia. I immediately rushed to the residential area where Bai Yuguang is located. Anna sent me a message asking me to wait for her for 2.5 minutes. I rubbed my tired nose and finally, there was only one movie left to watch. This day was more exhausting than fighting a war. I will never play this kind of multitasking game again in the future. Just as I was lost in thought, Anna's sweet voice came from behind me. Charles. I'm sorry. You must have been waiting for a long time. Seeing her in a casual outfit. She truly lives up to being the moonlight in the eyes of all the high school boys. Whether as a domineering female president or a casual student, she can easily handle various styles of clothing. Even though we have only met a few times during this period, every time I see her, I still have a sudden feeling of heart palpitations. At this moment, Anna sweetly smiles. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and let's go. The movie is about to start. At these words, I immediately came to my senses. That's right, that's right. I still have to handle business. If today's date goes smoothly, perhaps my relationship with Anna can progress further. Later, I watched the same movie with Anna again. And what's different from the previous 2 times? Is this what love feels like? I took Anna to a nearby barbecue restaurant. We chatted about high school anecdotes while eating barbecue. Unknowingly, time had already reached midnight. Watching the sky getting darker, I drove Anna back to the entrance of her residential area once again. At this moment, Anna's face blushed slightly as she said,
"Thank you for playing with me for so long. I had a great time tonight. It's getting late. You should head back and rest early."
But just as Anna turned to leave, I reached out and stopped her. "I'm a little thirsty. Can I go to your house for a drink of water?" Upon hearing this, Anna immediately froze in place. She had never brought a boy home before. However, she did not refuse. And after coming to Anna's house and finishing the water, I mentioned that it was already too late. "Let's stay overnight here tonight." What surprised me was that Anna actually agreed to it. Upon hearing this, I didn't say another word and went straight to the bathroom to take a shower, leaving Anna alone in the hall lost in thought. Anna felt extremely embarrassed at the thought of actually leaving a man overnight at home. What should I do if Charles makes such a request later? But if it's him, it seems not impossible. Next second, Anna then buried her head in the cushion. "What are you thinking?" Just as Anna was lost in thought, my several bills in my pocket caught her attention. But when she saw that the bills were actually 4 movie tickets, she froze in place. How come there are so many movie tickets? Could he have gone to the movies with another girl as well? The previous second, he even wanted me, his first love, to stay overnight. But the next second, he suddenly started shouting and told me to get out of her house. Just because it was originally 2 people going to watch a movie together. But my pocket unexpectedly had 4 extra movie tickets. However, facing this situation, I let out a cold laugh. Everything was within my expectations. It was just now. After coming to Anna's house, I couldn't wait to clean myself up. But when I returned to the hall, the scene before me made my pupils dilate. The 4 movie tickets that were originally in my pocket are now quietly lying on the coffee table. Before I could explain, Anna, with a stern look on her face, said,
"Charles, what's the deal with the 4 movie tickets in your pocket? Did you go watch a movie with other girls?"
"If you don't like me, then why did you barge into my life and go on dates with other girls? Have you ever considered my feelings?" Upon hearing this, I whispered,
"Let me explain. It's not what you think."
Before I could finish my sentence, Anna angrily pointed and scolded,
"Charles, get out of my house now. I never want to see you again."
While speaking, her affinity towards me dropped drastically from the original 95 points to 75 points. Faced with this situation, I was excited and trembling all over. Just because of all this, I had anticipated it long ago. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. Then I expressed my disappointment. "Anna, is it true that I am so untrustworthy in your heart? Is it just a few movie tickets that make all my efforts for you go to waste?" Listening to me still making excuses, did you not go on a movie date with other girls? Or did you go with a guy instead? Upon hearing that, I smirked. You actually guessed it right. So I immediately called my good buddy Walter. By the way, I also switched on the speakerphone. Then I handed the phone to Anna. "You can ask Walter yourself whether I went to the movies with him today." The call was connected, and Walter's voice came through from the other end. "Charles, what are you up to? Why are you calling me at 2:30 in the morning?" At this point, Anna snatched the phone. "I'm Anna. I just want to ask you if Charles went to the movies with you today." Upon hearing this, Walter responded without hesitation. "We went together. Originally, I planned to invite Kimberly to go together, but she rejected me. So, I had to drag Charles to go with me." Walter, who was originally still half asleep, instantly woke up. Isn't this Charles's phone? It's so late now. Soon, a furious roar from Walter came from the other end of the phone. Charles, are you still human? How could you be with Anna? I refuse to believe it even if I die. After hanging up the phone, Anna had a look of uncertainty. Could it be that I misunderstood Charles? No, what if he had agreed to this with Walter in advance? Anna immediately called Kimberly to verify the situation. What she didn't expect was that what Kimberly said was exactly the same as Walter's. She even complained that she shouldn't have turned down Walter's invitation for a date. After learning how things unfolded, Anna was about to speak up to express her apologies. But I directly interrupted her. Should I check my phone's payment information again or not? I then turned around and said,
I am really disappointed in you today.
Seeing this, Anna immediately greeted me with joy.
Charles, I'm sorry. Please don't leave. I shouldn't have misunderstood you so casually.
But in response, there was only a heavy sound of the door closing. After closing the door, I immediately wiped the sweat off my forehead. Fortunately, I was prepared in advance. Otherwise, things would have gone awry this time. The man is clearly trying to ride 7 boats at once. But his first love girlfriend was not angry at all. On the contrary, she was very considerate of the man's busy schedule. It turned out that it just happened recently, with the help of a good friend. I successfully dispelled Anna's suspicion of me. But just when she asked me to stay overnight. But I turned around and left directly because you doubted me over a few movie tickets. Anna, you really disappointed me. I then received an apology message from Anna. Last night, I misunderstood you. When 2 people are together, they should trust each other. Upon realizing this, I quickly replied. It was also my fault for not explaining it to you in advance. I should also apologize to you. Anna was touched. Even though it was my fault, he took the initiative to apologize to me. Charles is really gentle. Anna's affinity towards me has also increased sharply. I breathed a sigh of relief upon sensing all of this. It has finally increased back, and even a little more than before. Fortunately, I was prepared this time. Otherwise, I would have almost played myself to death. And this incident also served as a wake-up call for me. Currently, the system has assigned me 7 simp objects. But I need to differentiate them. Some people only need to be used as my tools, and the remaining few need to be well maintained in relationships. I must make sure their affinity with me is built solidly. After all, who doesn't have a harem dream? Only kids make choices. I want them all. Just as I was lost in wild thoughts, I heard the discussion of 2 female classmates behind me. They said Timothy sponsored the school team and organized a
Strongest Roadside King
competition. Let's go check it out. There are a lot of handsome guys on the basketball team. Upon hearing this, I was stunned. What is Timothy up to this time? Just thinking that I was idle anyway, I started walking towards the gym. At this moment, the gym was already packed with people. 2 teams were engaged in a fierce competition. And a group of fangirls on both sides of the basketball court were cheering loudly.
Go Timothy! I want to have your baby, Timothy!
I was speechless when I saw this scene. So Timothy was organizing a King of the Court competition just to show off. Just then, Coco and Sandra spotted me squeezed in the crowd. Sandra was about to greet me. Coco, who was by her side, had already disappeared without a trace. The next moment, Coco's figure appeared beside me. Charles, you are here too. What a coincidence. Sandra, who saw the scene, was extremely annoyed. She was actually beaten to it by that green tea girl. And I had just thought to speak up when my shoulder was lightly tapped by someone. Hannah looked at me with a beaming smile and said,
Hey, Charles. Do you also like playing basketball?
Upon seeing this, I felt overwhelmed. A basketball game that gathered 3 simp personalities. What a hassle. and several male classmates watching the scene had indie written all over their faces. It said that Hannah, in pursuit of Charles, directly dumped her ex-boyfriend. Just as the two were discussing, Betty suddenly appeared behind them with Cynthia.
"Talking behind girls' backs like this disgusts me,"
she said. The entire gym is filled with a foul smell. Cynthia, who was standing nearby, looked embarrassed and said,
Okay.
Also at this moment, Timothy in the middle of the court noticed my presence. How on earth did that damn rat Charles also show up here? Are these three girls blind or something? Why are they circling around Charles like that? Can't they see there's a top-tier handsome guy here? But when Cynthia appeared, Timothy suddenly had a plan in mind. And since Cynthia is also here, this is just the opportunity one need to redeem myself. With my 2.5 years of practice in basketball skills, Charles, who is inexperienced, definitely cannot beat me. At the thought of this, Timothy immediately threw the basketball in his hand towards me. Fortunately, I swiftly caught the ball in my hand. Otherwise, I would have definitely been hit on the head. Then I said with a stern face,
"Timothy, what do you mean by this? Just because you lost in the piano competition, you decided to retaliate against me with a sneak attack. Isn't this too childish?"
Upon hearing this, Timothy let out a cold laugh.
"You are not worthy. Dare to challenge me to a one-on-one duel? I'll give you a 10-point advantage."
The basketball team captain, who has been diligently practicing basketball skills for 2.5 years, but ended up making a fool of himself in front of a newcomer. Not only was he immediately blown away by the opponent's pass, he also effortlessly blocked his proud slam dunk. It just happened a moment ago. School hunk Timothy challenged me to a one-on-one basketball game to show off in front of his classmates. Upon hearing that, I was excited and my veins bulged. "You like to play, huh? Then I'll play with you." I immediately threw the basketball in my hand towards Timothy. I officially accepted his challenge. Seeing this, Timothy sneered. A mere amateur dares to accept the challenge. He really doesn't know any better. But the next scene left the teammates present in shock. Timothy was unexpectedly hit by my pass, and was literally knocked 2.5 meters away. Cynthia, who witnessed this scene, had a look of surprise on her face. Timothy, as the captain of the basketball team, surprisingly failed to catch Charles's pass. On the other hand, Betty on the side had a look of disdain. Just a brute with brute strength and nothing more. And at this moment, Timothy, who was lying on the ground, had an incredulous expression on his face. How could there be such a strong force? Charles seems as weak as a straw. I never expected him to have such great strength. At this time, I walked up to Timothy and sarcastically said,
"You can't even catch the ball, yet you dare to challenge me one-on-one. How about a 5v5 instead? It just so happens that I can test the skill level of the school team."
Everyone on the scene was shocked. Nobody believed it. How could an amateur like me lead a team to victory against a well-trained school team? And Timothy even doubted if he had misheard. You see, all the players on the field, including the referee, are his people. This is not a 5v5 match at all. It's clearly a 1-against-9. Timothy revealed a fierce smile on his face. "Charles, now you are definitely going to lose." With the referee's signal, the 5v5 match officially begins. Timothy takes the lead with a breakthrough. Just a basketball rookie. Watch how I dominate you. I will ruthlessly crush you under my feet. Let Cynthia know who her true love is. On the other hand, I am surrounded by 3 teammates in a triangular formation. It's impossible to escape. At this sight, a trace of a cold smile appears on my lips. I naturally know that all the players present are his undercover actors. I need a teammate. I am enough to be an army of thousands alone. Although my basketball skills are not that great. But I have cheats. Then I directly ask the system to increase my basketball skill proficiency by 30 years. Meanwhile, Timothy is listening to the various cheers for him in the arena, looking smug. The situation is just right for showing off some basketball skills. Let me end it all with a handsome dunk. Then Timothy took a big leap forward and took off from the ground, ready to make a handsome dunk. But the next moment, he suddenly froze. A big hand appeared right in front of him. I then immediately swatted the basketball out of his hand. The onlookers were petrified at the sight. Timothy, who is a basketball expert, was actually blocked by Charles. It's simply unbelievable. The three teammates surrounding me also looked puzzled. It's really strange. Charles was just here a moment ago. Timothy also stared at the scene in disbelief. Impossible. This must be an illusion. No one can outsmart me in this school. At this moment, holding the ball, I playfully approached Timothy. It's finally my turn. Senior, you better be ready. Before I could finish speaking, the referee behind me blew the whistle and showed me a yellow card. Seeing this, my face immediately darkened. Timothy, do you have any shame left? How could you even let the referee blow the black whistle? It was clearly a fixed match where one person played against 9. But the man managed to turn the game around all by himself. The crowd was moved to tears by the scene. This is the true spirit of sports. The campus heartthrob's prideful slam dunk was easily blocked by me. But just at that moment, the referee unexpectedly blew the whistle with a yellow card in hand. As the penalty kick hit the center of the blue frame, the school team led by the campus heartthrob took the lead with 1 point. He then smirked darkly and said,
Even if you are good at basketball, what can you do? Even the referee is on my side.
If I want to blow the whistle on you, I will. Charles, you are still too naive. The spectators outside started discussing this scene after seeing it. Clearly, there was no foul. Could it be that they are blowing the whistle unfairly? It's just a friendly match. Acting so shamelessly really dishonors us, doesn't it? And Timothy's despicable behavior has completely ignited my anger. I can tolerate cheating, but I will never allow you to insult the spirit of sports. In the next 2.5 minutes, I will definitely thoroughly beat you, you scum. As the referee blew the whistle again, I dribbled directly through Timothy's defense. Timothy looked shocked at the scene. What speed is this, after all? Before he could react, I had already jumped up high with the basketball. Later, under the gaze of everyone, I completed a perfect dunk. As the game continued, I repeatedly broke through with the ball, widening the score gap. Seeing the score gap getting bigger, Timothy immediately shouted at a few teammates.
Quickly surround him. If needed, fouling is also an option.
Then he pointed at a few other people and said,
What are you guys waiting for? Find a chance to block him.
The few people who received the order blocked me from moving forward. I just chuckled at this. Let's see how I handle you all. I then jumped high in place with both hands holding the ball. Several team members who saw this scene were shocked. What a vertical leap. Just as they were shocked, I made a long-range three-pointer. Watching me score so vigorously, both players from both teams and the referees were all stunned in place. Knowing that this is a game full of backstage deals, does he really need to go this far? At this moment, my silhouette breaking through with the ball has left the referee in contemplation. Why is he so determined? Just to earn everyone's respect? It reminded him of what his father once said. The referee is the bottom line of all games. When that whistle blows, you must have a clear conscience. Other players also recalled what the coach once said. The outcome of a game is not about the score, but about your love for basketball. It's about whether you've given your all for the game. Charles knew that this was a game full of scandals. However, he did not hesitate at all. This is true love for basketball. The referees and players on both sides shed tears. Compared to the man in front of them, they look so ugly and despicable. It's like they are blaspheming the sport of basketball. And seeing this scene, I was confused. How could I just stand there still? The classmates watching the game around me exclaimed in astonishment. Is the basketball team out of their minds? I saw the players from both sides, who were originally standing in front of me, suddenly stepping aside, leaving me to face Timothy one-on-one. Seeing this situation, I was full of question marks. Is this a new tactic? And Cynthia, who was watching the battle, pointed out the reason behind it. Charles used his skill to win people's respect, which made everyone admire him. This is the true spirit of sports. But Timothy, who witnessed the scene, was dumbfounded.
"What are you all doing?"
he said.
"Don't you want to make money anymore?"
The man was ambushed during a basketball game. But in the end, it was not himself who got injured. Instead, it was the campus hunk who launched the ambush that ended up with a broken hand. It turned out to be just earlier, under my spirit of winning people over with virtue in sports. All the players and referees were deeply impressed by me. And without the referees' biased calls and the obstruction from both sides' players, I quickly widened the score to 60-2. Then I said coldly,
"You have insulted the sport of basketball. Any humiliation that follows is on you."
After saying that, I dribbled the ball at a very fast speed towards Timothy. Upon hearing this, Timothy's face turned gloomy. Currently, there are only 2.5 seconds left until the end of the game. As long as he can successfully defend against this last shot, he won't be completely embarrassed. Timothy immediately exerted all his strength to block my shot, just as I was about to forcefully break through for a dunk. Timothy underneath laughed mockingly. "Charles, this is all your fault. Just go lie in the hospital bed properly." He then delivered a sneaky elbow strike right on my waist. A crisp sound of a bone breaking rang out from his right hand. Timothy then fell to the ground in pain. Is Charles made of iron? I ended the game with a thunderous dunk amidst Timothy's cries. The crowd witnessed this scene and erupted in thunderous applause. And Cynthia's affinity towards me also soared to 96 points at this moment. Not only that, observing the battle, Sandra and Coco's affinity towards me also simultaneously soared to 97. What surprised me even more is that even Hannah, whom I've only met a few times, instantly increased her affinity towards me to 95. She has become my simp. And as the competition ended, I watched Timothy kneeling on the ground in unbearable pain, with a cold expression on my face. Timothy, you are not worthy of being the captain of the school basketball team, neither in ability nor in character. You do not deserve to insult the sport of basketball. It is an insult to my skills to compete with garbage like you." Upon hearing this, Timothy angrily retorted,
"Charles, don't be too arrogant. I will have the upper hand over you sooner or later."
The girls in the crowd had already exploded with excitement.
"Charles's dunk was so cool,"
exclaimed Hannah, who was looking around with a bottle of water in hand. Just at that moment, Cynthia, holding a bottle of water, was also searching around for my figure, just like Hannah. Soon Sandra, who had the same idea, joined them, and Coco met them. This made the situation awkward for a while. On the other hand, I escaped from the gym as soon as the competition ended. Fortunately, I am quick-witted and slippery. Otherwise, just choosing whose water to drink could potentially lead to a major accident. And then I returned to the dormitory. I took a nice hot shower for myself as soon as possible. As I continue to conquer various campus beauties, the attribute points rewarded by the system make my body shape become more perfect. My phone suddenly received a group friend request from someone named Rogue. I accepted the friend request with a puzzled expression on my face. The person came straight to the point and said,
"Do you want a wife?"
I was dumbfounded on the spot when I heard that. Although I have bought cars and houses in the group before, I have never bought a wife. Just because it was exposed that she is a third party. Female celebrities face a penalty of 30 million yuan. She thought her life had come to an end just like that. But her younger brother found her a super wealthy husband. It turns out that Deborah is a star from the domestic entertainment industry, the head of the 4 leading actresses. She won the Best Actress award at the young age of 22. Originally, Her future was very promising. However, it was exposed that she was a third party involved in ruining someone's family. As a result, Deborah got caught up in various scandals. Her online reputation also took a nosedive. Eventually, she had to face a penalty of 30 million yuan for breach of contract. Although Deborah is the daughter of the Gao Group, in recent years, the group's development has been unfavorable. The 30 million liquidity is enough to seriously impact the current state of the Gao Group. Rogue, as the second son of the Gao Group and also Deborah's younger brother, specifically invited me out in the hopes of helping them resolve this family crisis. After understanding the cause and process of the incident, I just took a sip of cold boiled water lightly. So you asked me if I wanted a wife. It means to have me marry your sister. And then I have to give a dowry of 30 million. To become the son-in-law of your family. Upon hearing that, Rogue immediately became nervous. Smokey, please don't get me wrong. I was just afraid that you would ignore me, that's why I said that. He said angrily and slammed the table. It's obvious that my sister was framed. The current public opinion is very unfavorable to her. And she also has to pay a large amount of liquidated damages. Rogue then scratched his cheek embarrassedly. Actually, I want to ask you to buy my sister's villa. Upon hearing this, I pondered for a moment. With the help of the simp system, I do indeed need to have my own house now. And Deborah is a popular female celebrity. As long as I can bind her as my simp object. Once the mission is successful, I will count money until my feet go soft. I slowly put down the bottle of cold white liquor in my hand. Then I looked seriously at Rogue and said,
I've made up my mind about becoming your brother-in-law. Can you spare some time to let me meet your sister?
Upon hearing this, Rogue immediately took out her phone with a happy expression. Smokey is indeed as chivalrous as the rumors say. I'll arrange a time for you right away. At this moment, when Rogue looked at me again, it was as if I was emanating a bright aura of injustice. I heard that Smokey recently invested a large sum of money in Shao Group. If I were to let my sister be his wife, it doesn't seem impossible. At the same time, in a group of villas, Deborah angrily said on the phone,
Tell that person to back off. I know he's capable, but just because he spread these rumors doesn't mean I'll budge.
Having said that, Deborah hung up the phone directly. Then she gave the pillow a punch in anger. Damn man. He wanted to get me through such dirty tricks. But the thought of having to pay over 30 million in liquidated damages made Deborah collapse on the bed. Just wanted to be a simple actor. Is it really that difficult? Her phone rang again. Deborah answered the phone just as she was about to speak, and Rogue's excited voice came from the other end. You don't need to worry about money anymore. I have found a super rich guy for you to marry. Deborah hearing this again. The pillow beside me gave a chill through my heart. What do you mean, you stinky brother? You actually plan to sell me to those stinky men? Sis, don't put it so harshly. I found the legendary Smokey to back you up. He promised to buy your house. Perhaps he can help you deal with those rumors as well. Upon hearing this, Deborah furrowed her brow. She had indeed heard frequently about this Smokey, who often trended on social media. But after listening to her younger brother's description, what came to her mind was instead a middle-aged, greasy uncle with a cigarette in his mouth. Here he comes. Smokey's 8th conquest has finally arrived. The first thing I did after meeting her was to make her my underground lover. I thought she would directly refuse. I didn't expect her to ask me to give her a set worth $1 billion suite. Upon hearing this, my eyes lit up. One set is not enough, right? How about giving one set to your parents and brother each? Otherwise, I won't feel secure about this underground relationship. It turns out it was just now. Rogue wanted to help his sister solve the 30 million breach of contract compensation issue. He found a super wealthy backer for her. But when Deborah found out about this, she scolded him harshly. This stinky man trying to take advantage of me. Rogue, How dare you help an outsider to deceive me? Wait until you get home. I'll make sure you regret it. Upon hearing this, Rogue hurriedly explained, Sister, please believe me this time. Smokey is really amazing. He should be arriving soon. Why don't you show him around the house first? Without waiting for him to finish talking, Deborah hung up the phone directly. Then she started pounding her chest and stomping her feet on the bed. There isn't a good man among them, not even her own brother. Even if I, Deborah, starve to death, jump from upstairs and die at home, I will never ask for a penny from a man. At the same time, outside the house, I looked in surprise at the villa in front of me. I never expected that the home of the famous star Deborah would be so close to the villa I bought for Cynthia. Then I walked towards the gate and rang the doorbell. Deborah, who heard the bell, frowned.
Already here so quickly. Did he never see a woman in his past life?
After all, in her opinion, the so-called rich and powerful people were just middle-aged and greasy old lechers. Listening to the continuous doorbell ringing, Deborah put on her coat and walked towards the front door. Then she impatiently opened the door, with an annoyed expression on her face. You're already older. Why are you so impatient? You're going to break my doorbell with all your ringing. But the next second, she quickly closed her mouth. A blush appeared on her cheeks. The man in front of her was not the greasy middle-aged man she had in mind. Instead, he was a handsome and elegant young talent. Are you Miss Deborah? I am a friend of Rogue. I walked into the villa. Deborah, however, stuttered and couldn't say a word. This guy is actually Smokey. He's so young and handsome. I've been shooting for so long and never seen anyone like him. Which male actor can have such presence? Deborah stood still, looking bewildered. I calmly said,
Miss, you don't have to be too constrained. Just treat this place as your own home.
Upon hearing this, Deborah awkwardly smiled.
Are you going to continue looking at the house?
I solemnly replied,
I did not come here for the house. Would the young lady be willing to be my underground lover?
As soon as I finished speaking, the system immediately sent a prompt.
Conquer Deborah to receive a reward of 30 attribute points and mastery in the skill of performance.
Seeing this, I smirked.
Let's get straight to the point. How will you handle this, my friend?
Upon hearing my words, Deborah was also stunned. She did not expect me to be so direct. Then her face immediately turned cold.
You want me to be your secret lover with a little money? You're so arrogant. Let me show you how I can embarrass you.
Thinking this, Deborah raised her chin slightly and said,
You are quite straightforward. Being your secret lover is not impossible, but I have a few conditions.
First, you need to buy me a top luxury car worth over 10 million. Second, you need to give me a suite worth 1 billion. If you find the conditions too harsh. Before she could finish her sentence, I was already beaming with excitement. Is this all you're asking for? How about getting a set for your parents and younger brother too? Otherwise, I won't feel secure about this underground relationship. Upon hearing that, Deborah was dumbfounded on the spot. He is clearly a top celebrity that I just met. But I immediately asked her to be my secret lover. The woman just smiled. I won't agree without 30 million yuan. She thought this would make me back off. I transferred 100 million spending money to her directly. In the wealthy neighborhood at this moment, Rogue arrived at his sister's villa with an excited expression on his face. And seeing the Ferrari parked at the entrance, he was even more excited. Isn't this Smokey's car? Could it be that he hasn't left yet? He immediately rushed into the villa, only to see his sister sitting alone on the sofa in a daze.
Why are you the only one here? His car is still outside the gate.
At the words, Deborah replied listlessly,
You mean that Ferrari? He gave it to me.
Rogue then said,
That car is worth over 20 million. Why didn't Smokey give it to me?
At this moment, Deborah continued her wild talk and said,
Not only did Smokey give me the car, but he also gave me some money.
Rogue smiled at the words. Smokey is indeed impressive. Is it the down payment for a house? Is it 1 million or 2 million? Upon seeing the deposit message on his sister's phone, Rogue was immediately stunned. This unknown _0 turned out to be a whole 1 billion. He had never seen so much money in his life. The house hasn't even been purchased yet, and Smokey has already given away 120 million. Could it be that Smokey has really set his sights on the older sister? Rogue immediately started to celebrate by throwing confetti. Ha ha ha. Deborah, upon seeing this, was speechless. This little brother is really unbearable. Then she remembered my serious expression when I asked her to be my secret lover. The Ferrari has been transferred to your name. You could also use the 100 million spending money. If it's not enough, you can come find me. I can't stand seeing beautiful women suffer the most. If things go as usual, Deborah will definitely fly into a rage and kick me out. After all, she is not a woman who can be easily conquered with money. But now, she not only didn't get angry, but also directly accepted my conditions. And as Deborah thought about it, a hint of blush appeared on her face. This guy was so straightforward in giving money, and never made any inappropriate requests to me. Instead, he was quite gentlemanly. In this light, it seems like he's not a bad person after all. After Deborah's wild thoughts, her affinity with me instantly rose by 20 points. Meanwhile, on the campus, a group of seniors are busy taking graduation photos. And Betty kept advising Cynthia on the side. Charles is really not a good person. You should stay away from him as soon as possible. After graduation today, I won't be able to protect you anymore. Cynthia smiled and waved her hand. Charles is really not as you think. Upon hearing this, Betty frowned slightly. You also saw that basketball game. So many girls were giving him water. This is enough to prove that he is unreliable and doesn't uphold male virtue. Who would have thought that Cynthia blushed slightly after hearing this? Senior sister, of course I saw it. But Charles didn't take water from anyone and just left. I think there is no problem. Upon hearing this, Betty crossed her arms and continued.
So how do you explain the next thing? On your birthday after the party, Charles orchestrated a heroic act to save me, only to try to impress me. Do you still think he is innocent?
Cynthia immediately started looking through her phone album after hearing that.
I think you're obsessed with men now. I'm starting to worry about your mental state,
she said. She then handed a photo to Betty as she spoke. Charles is great in every way. Not to mention, his sense of justice is off the charts. This is not the first time he has acted bravely for a just cause. That day, he had no idea you were coming at all. It was impossible for him to stage it by himself. Looking at the photos on the phone, Betty suddenly widened her eyes. Did I really misunderstand Charles? Is all this because I demonize men too much? Betty ran off into the distance without looking back at Cynthia. It's really embarrassing. It turns out that all of this was just my own imagination. Charles was simply being chivalrous as usual. I mistakenly thought he was interested in me. The aloof senior sister who used to hate all men to the core. But now, she can't eat or sleep at night because of a man. At this moment in a listed company, everyone is working methodically. Only Betty is lost in her thoughts. I'm so embarrassed. How could I have said to Cynthia that Charles is trying to hit on me? Even though it's been so many days, Betty still can't forget the embarrassment from that moment. Whenever she thinks of this matter, my image would inexplicably come to her mind the scene of her confronting a few ruffians for me. Betty's cheeks blushed with embarrassment. I clearly dislike men so much. This feeling is really strange. Just as Betty was lost in her thoughts, the voice of the CEO came from the office. Come in. I have something to tell you. Betty entered the CEO's office. The female CEO said seriously,
Recently, business celebrities are organizing a charity banquet. As my assistant, you will represent me to attend. And I have another task for you.
Betty was taken aback upon hearing this. What task does the CEO need me to complete? It is said that this charity gala will be attended by the legendary mysterious tycoon Smokey. Your task is to socialize with this wealthy individual, paving the way for the company's future business endeavors. Upon hearing this, Betty immediately fell silent. The boss's company could have avoided these situations, but the inevitable still came. After all, this was her first job after graduation. She had no choice but to accept it. So Betty looked helpless, saying she would try her best to complete the task. Little did she know that the CEO issued a military order to her, requiring her to complete it. At the same time, on the school dormitory side, I leisurely listened to Harold sharing gossip with me. "Smokey, have you checked the trending topics? Rogue, that kid's sister is going to personally take down the big shots in the entertainment industry." I heard gossip related to Deborah. I immediately got excited. I then went to the desk and opened the computer, only to see the top trending topic boldly stating, "Deborah tears apart the big shots in the entertainment industry." The 270 million views are impressive, overshadowing tens of thousands of other hot searches. Deborah took the initiative to speak out on her Weibo. With the situation having escalated to this point, I want to speak up for all the victims who have been harmed by this scum. In the comments section, some people support her actions, while there are also many paid commentators fighting back. You have so much dirt on yourself. Listening to Harold's explanation, I roughly understand the cause and process of the whole incident. It turns out that a big shot in the entertainment industry, seeing the Gal group has not been doing well in recent years, wanted to manipulate Deborah after being rejected, planning to discredit her and blacklist her. What surprised me was that Deborah turned out to be so principled. She was willing to stand up even at the risk of being blacklisted. Harold mentioned another thing at this time. There will be a charity auction recently where various top celebrities will attend. "Smokey, you must come to join us then." Upon hearing this, I suddenly became interested. Another place where I can show off by spending money. Even if you didn't mention it, I would still go. However, before attending the charity auction, there is something else I must take care of first. Meanwhile, inside a villa, Deborah said angrily,
"The online water army has started to attack. Use fake accounts to push down their negative reviews. I don't believe lies can cover up the truth."
The assistant, feeling overwhelmed, said,
"Our company account is running low. The other party has spent a lot of money hiring powerful public relations and the water army. Their attack is too strong. We can hardly hold on."
Deborah's phone suddenly received a text message. Deborah looked at the incoming message showing $1 billion. She looked surprised. Did that guy see the trending hot battle and worry that I won't have enough money to fight back? But the next second, she seemed smug, just showing off with a little money everywhere. Deborah's affinity towards me suddenly increased by 20 points.